All right, then I think we're live. That's us. What's up, my brother? Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, no
How you
problem.
doing?
How's it going, Daniel?
Well,
Crazy
I'm just
week. Crazy
hey.
week.
Well, yeah, kinda. I mean, fucking. Well, not kinda. Like really crazy week. It's and that's central to what I want to talk about. Can you hear that cunt in the background, by the way, with this leaf blower? I think
No.
he's moved on a bit. He was like right under me, and then before, just when I was we were setting it all up. There was this giant like Hercules fucking jet that went like right over I swear I could have touched it. No, it wasn't that low, but it was really, really low and flew right over me. I'm like, what's going on? Anyway, lots of noise going on here today. So everywhere you look online right now, it's a little bit difficult to avoid the uh the story of what happened to Charlie Kirk, which was obviously really horrible, and because it's the 2020s and we're on social media, it seems crazy to have to say this, but I do have to say it. Like, it is obviously a horrible, horrible tragedy, and I don't. Charlie was not someone that I had a whole lot of alignment, but I didn't also. He wasn't an enemy of mine. I didn't like. There was some overlap with that, with the things that he espoused and what I believe in. Um, he was undeniably a giant in terms of what you would call, I mean, a thought leader is a pretty cringe term, but if there was ever one, he was one. And so it's taken me a little while to process and understand that martyrdom because I wasn't totally in that circle. But, even though I look around me and there's Australian senators holding moments of silence, which they actually were allowed. Did they let them do it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they let them do it. Uh, which was not the courtesy allowed in the United States Congress or Senate or whatever they tried to do. They tried to hold one there, and that was screamed down, which was just fucking repugnant. And it's sort of again like speaks to where everyone's at. There seems to be a trigger point embedded in this, and I feel like with like it's not just in America; it's across the world, but especially in America and especially on social media it seems to what's happening is like from the very minute that it happened, I woke up and I thought, wow, that's awful and shocking in a way. But like at the same time, I'm not shocked about it. Like I'm not like I was already in this mindset of like, well, they tried to shoot Donald Trump. They nearly did. Well, they did shoot him. They just didn't
Yeah.
kill him. Uh, there's been several race related murders. This is a political related murder, assassination and this deliberate ignorance from one side of the media as opposed to the other. And this ratcheting up of rhetoric and sentiment for a long time now. And so the confusion that I had immediately was, what is it about this? And this is not in any way to take away from Charlie's like what he it's tragic, it's awful, and I don't want to subtract from anyone's grief or horror in any of this. But what is it about this that is? Yeah. So, Mr. Scott, thanks for joining, bro. And I had a and see, even I'm glad you're here because, like, the other day in Third Railify's chat, I came in with these questions really hot off the thing. Like, I just woken up and I just discovered this, and I was a little bit confronted by everyone being so deeply affected by it, and it at first seemed contrived, not entirely because there are a lot of empathic people around, but like it did seem overcooked for something. And I'm not saying it wasn't it's obviously sad and horrible, and I have to keep saying that, but like there seemed to be something about it that was hijacked and is being hijacked and manipulated. And when you see the uniform messaging that's happened subsequently across social media, not everyone, but there are some messages that are being like this is really being used as a flashpoint for more violence, violent retribution. And we were already simmering on that sort of sentiment for a while with the background of other shit. And this, maybe it's that, maybe because I'm fully, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot here and I haven't let you speak yet, but like Mr. Scott was there the other day when I was asking these questions of Sean on Third Rail. I'm like, why are you so upset about this? like 2 days ago, everyone was having a go at him for being a Jewish shill and all of that. And it's like, okay, that's obviously inappropriate to say right now. I shouldn't have said that. But like, it was the point I was making of like, why is everyone so like feeling so personally aggrieved by this as if it was their own husband or father or brother? And well, what is it about this? And I'm not saying that they're wrong to feel that. I just don't understand it because I don't feel it. And is it because I'm already numbed and black-pilled from before and expecting of this disgusting shit? Like, what I haven't seen is, what I haven't deliberately looked at is the people celebrating it, because that kind of stuff I can't really stomach. I know it's there, though, so it's not a surprise to me. And anyway, the point with Mr. Scott was like, he feels different about everything. I think at one point, because it was so fresh to everyone and I was coming in with these questions that seemed a little bit antagonistic and insensitive, because that's kind of my nature. I'm sorry about that. But like, I do still have some confusion. Like, he was, I think, a bit upset. He's like, fuck Daniel. I think he meant it in the kindest possible way. But like, everyone was kind of like turning on me a little bit as if I was one of these people that was celebrating. And I'm like, whoa, no, hold a minute. That is so not the camp that I'm in. But what is it about this that even has Australian senators posting pictures of people of public executions and calling for that? What is it?
Yeah. Let's unpack that for a little bit. You know, first off, I do want to say, like myself, like, yeah, as well, absolutely horrible thing. Totally condemn political violence. Yeah, just a crazy, crazy thing. So I don't think it's contrived. I think this is a
I don't
very
anymore. I did it first. Sorry, I continue. But I did it first. Now I don't think it is. I think it's really genuinely moved something that has failed to move me because I was already dead from before. Sorry, keep going.
No,
I'm
no,
trying to
I,
sort of
I
process
think
the
I think
thoughts
you're
as
right
well.
on a lot of stuff, and I share actually some similar sentiments that you brought up here, because the reaction to this does seem like a little. I don't think the word crazy is right, but it's definitely a lot larger than I
Yeah.
was anticipating.
And
Because it's not the first time we've had mass shootings or school shootings or something like this. So, and Charlie wasn't necessarily like super mainstream and super big. He was very popular,
right.
but he wasn't like Tucker Carlson level. He wasn't Joe Rogan level. He wasn't even, I wouldn't even say he was like Ben Shapiro level. He was definitely
It was
large
close to
within
Ben
that
Shapiro.
subset of, that the right wing sphere of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I
He
was
didn't.
actually like born kind of out of that. I used to be involved with like the Ron Paul stuff way back in the day.
Okay.
I'm very more aligned with like people like Dave Smith. But
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that know Charlie. Actually,
Yeah.
I used to do similar stuff that Charlie did. Not saying anywhere near of like what Charlie did, but I used to get paid to go to college campuses and set up a table and talk to
Oh,
kids and try to recruit kids for conservative purposes. And this was well before Charlie's era of doing it on such a large level and stuff. But it is a little shocking to me because I've never seen, as an American, I've never seen a response like this since 9/11. I was 16 years old when 9/11 happened, and I remember going outside with the neighborhood, and we lit a candle, and there was like a vigil, and everyone came together. So I
yeah.
I don't know if is it because of Charlie himself, or is Charlie like what happened to Charlie? Everyone's kind of personalizing this. I think there's a lot of like fatigue, and people are just sick of violence. They're sick of the
Yeah.
hate. They're sick
Well,
of the
there was an element of
toxicity.
it being it was close to Irenia as well, which was very shocking to people. But I think there's multiple layers to this. There's a closeness to that. There's the sentiment built up from other things. And then there is all of the factors that lead into this one specific guy. Because obviously he was also on a personal level, he seemed to also be he was a non-violent person. He may have been a little bit cocky, but not really. He was quite a happy warrior kind of. It was a very lovely man.
I think that's an accurate thing to say, but I would say that that might be one of like the narratives that are coming out of this
Maybe,
is
yeah, maybe.
that Charlie didn't believe in violence. Another thing that I think is totally organic, but if you notice, because told you I'm a psychological operations veteran, so I look for these narratives and things when they pop up. Another
Yeah,
one,
you're
he's a
actually the perfect
father,
person to talk
his
to.
family, that sort of stuff. And not to take anything away from that, but uh,
Can I just quickly thank
that is
Mr.
something.
Scott? The and
Yeah,
because I
absolutely.
can't bring up Rumble rants on StreamYard, but he says, "Love you, cunt." Mr. Scott, he's a good guy. I love him. He's a good lad. Anyway, I just had to acknowledge him because he
But
sent
it
me a
is
thing.
weird that a lot of people are having the exact same response to this and saying a lot of the same things. Like all of the influencers that came out all said, "Hey, like he is a father. It's sad that his family had to witness it," and it totally is. But
Yeah.
nobody, like, you don't hear that narrative and messaging for a lot of other terrible
No,
shit
it's
that
missing from all the
happens.
others. Yeah.
And I'm not saying this is a psyop and everyone's in on it to have these talking points. There are a lot of things in life where these talking points do go out, but this isn't one of them. And it is like just a very weird cultural phenomenon to be witnessing. It is weird to see,
Yes.
yeah, Australian senators. I've seen middle school football teams doing prayers. Where I
Uh-huh.
live, there was a vigil. I've had a lot of personal friends that I would consider to be like normies
We
that
had
have
a vigil here
never
in the
talked
park.
about politics are reaching out to me, say, "Hey, you going to the vigil? Are you doing this?" I'm like,
My
when have
mother
you
even
ever cared about politics? Sorry.
my mother even didn't she like actually she had because she's kind of like on and off religious. She sort of struggles with her faith a little bit. I'm not a religious type, but she's sort of on and off throughout her life. And she, I think, came on to Charlie Kirk maybe about 5 or 6 weeks ago. She was just telling me this the other day when he was killed. Um, she actually just coincidentally already discovered who he was, I think, through that religious angle of things. And she was annoyed. She's like, why are they saying he passed away? He was assassinated. She was angry about it. And I'm like, what's going on?
I think maybe part of this also has to do with the optics of it. Everybody saw that video, and that was a
Yeah.
horrific video. Like
Yeah.
when you hear about a mass shooting or this or that, or just any sort of violence, like you typically don't see the thing. We
Well,
all
this is
saw the
the other
most
thing.
graphic, like maybe we do. We probably
Yeah, that's the thing.
lurk in
Okay, so
dark
I,
circles that
I brought
we
this up
see
on my
stuff.
Discord. I think you've got a valid point, and I'm sorry to cut you off here, but like I have to because I'll forget it otherwise. Like there's in terms of the video footage, I think you're right that it went past that threshold of graphic gore for most people. But for like netizens since the 90s like us, who many of which are claiming that's the worst thing, that's the most great. Even Jamison's Travels, like the guy, what's his name? He's Odin's Men. He's saying this is the goriest thing I've ever seen. It's like, dude, I've seen worse shit. I mean, not worse when I say worse. I've seen more graphic, real things just this week on Twitter, like mutilated babies, all sorts of shit. Like it's actually a lie to say that that's the worst thing you've ever seen. It seems to be the most impactful and shocking for whatever reason, and that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Teabagging is my audio a little bit better now.
What's up with the dude's audio? He chewed the mic. Oh yeah, it went weird for a little bit.
Is it a little bit
You seem
better?
to. It's back now. It's all good now.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
I
still
also have
banned.
like a laptop fan that's very loud, so
Are you still banned from Twitter, T Sean Squared? Why don't you just make a new account? Or not. You could just like silently protest. Anyway, sorry, dude. Okay.
oh, but yeah, to circle back to the video, I think it for most people that is probably the most graphic shit that they have
Yeah,
seen in their life. Like for me as a veteran, I go to like Funker 530 and I've probably seen over 1,000 videos from the Ukraine war and very graphic shit and people dying. I feel like I'm very desensitized to it. And when I saw
right.
that video, Man, if I had seen this video 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it really would have fucked me up,
Is it because of the
but it didn't.
non-combat setting? Is it because it's a total non-combatant setting? Is that what it is? Is it just the
I think I've
context matter?
personally just seen so many of these videos of people dying and losing their lives that I'm a little desensitized to it. It did like ruin my day for sure, but I didn't have that like visceral, like feeling sick feeling that like the first time you
Yeah.
really do see stuff, something like
I
that, you
did
know?
what I'll tell you this. I did the day after they had a vigil here, and I was going to go, and I decided not to because I thought, you know what, like maybe it feels inappropriate given all of this confusion I've got and all these questions I've been asking today. Maybe people would think that's silly if I go or something. I don't know. Didn't know what to think. So it definitely consumed my day. And then the following day when they had the vigil, I did actually start to feel the sadness of it. And I did have a little I shed a little tear about it. I'm like, just because it is sad. And I do that for a lot of other cases in this same way. So that is totally consistent in terms of what I'm thinking. And also this other thing of like, I'm also not stupid enough to think that everyone needs to or should treat every single murder consistently in the same magnitude. I know I'm not that stupid, but there is still something extra with this that I
There is something extra with it. I yeah, I think maybe you touched on it earlier where this has maybe just been building in a lot of people's lives, just the,
yeah.
anger, hate, seeing all this stuff, going all the way back to COVID. I think COVID, the scales started to fall from a lot of people's eyes on, hey, we don't live in this like world that we learned in fifth grade where the government's great and every expert's amazing and things just work the way they're supposed to, how we were being taught. And I think people are just getting a little bit angry about it. Same thing with Trump too. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like there isn't a lot of these MAGA people. I think people just vote or gravitate towards Trump because he's this icon that represents how they kind of feel about being pissed off and things aren't working well and the economy sucks, or just all this online toxicity, man. Like, the internet is so toxic and you're seeing it
It's
on
bad.
both sides of the reactions to what's going on. Immediately, if you're
Yeah.
on the right, it's, oh man, this is the fucking Democrats and fuck them and blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And then if you're on the left, it's, oh, thank God he died,
I
or
was
something.
feeling
It's
really,
like,
really in a vanishing minority of people that were being like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Look! I am a conservative-leaning person. I'm not in any way left ideology. Well, not that's not true to say. I'm sort of as is insofar as I am centrist. There are left, there more society-focused things that I believe in. But like, uh, where was I going with that? I was
I think
gonna
most
say like,
people are pretty like centrist in the aspect that, like, I don't think most people care that if you're gay, or I don't think most people care if you're this or that. People just want to
right?
be left alone and
Yeah,
like live their
yeah.
lives and get along. And if we don't agree, then hey, I'm not going to be your friend. I'm not going to hang out with you. But that doesn't mean like I hate you or
Because
it's
well, now the thing that's fucking because one of the big things that I've been like really rallying against lately is this fight against internet privacy and like social credit scores and all of that sort of stuff. And this is now a grassroots movement. I think it's astroturfed, but like it feels very Palantir-ish. To start creating they're creating lists of that's like 50,000 identities now on this database, which is now publicly searchable. And yes, it's all people that have been doing horrible things that you probably wouldn't want to hire anyway. But in principle, what's happened is they've set up the infrastructure now for a social credit system without the fucking government, or is it? I don't know. This is where I
dude.
get
As soon as I saw the video, I thought of you and the conversation we had last time about this internet censorship shit, because
yes.
everybody has seen this.
Well, it's
Every
like they're
kid
gonna
that was
make it
on the
into
internet has
law.
seen it. And my instant reaction was like, oh man, like this is going to
Just
be
sneak it in.
used. This is going to
Hmm.
be used to say that this is why we need age verifications and all sorts of stuff because
100%. Which doesn't work and doesn't solve any of the problem that is supposed to be there. Like, it doesn't actually solve that problem. So, like, it makes it worse. So, and
Yep.
especially in terms of child safety, that makes that horrendously worse because you're now creating a whole lot of information and photography of children that wouldn't otherwise need to exist, and you're handing it off to private companies that will leak it out. And like, it's just like you're creating databases that don't full of children. What the fuck?
Yeah, but then there's the flip side of the coin. If they have all this Palantir stuff, why did it take so long to catch this guy?
Well, this is like, again, so
Is
yeah,
it not
and
fully
there's
up and running yet, or like do we
and
not
you
have the
map these
NSA?
questions onto July into the Butler rally as well, like where we still don't know fuck all about Thomas Crooks, and we never will because and people, I don't know, like that was the difference. There is that obviously there's a few differences there. Trump survived, so that could have gone a few different ways. But he still nonetheless was hit and injured, and the attempt was made. And so it was, but he was also the sitting leader of the most powerful, like the hegemon of the planet. So that is, there is a whole lot more implication there where like it literally decapitates the country. Whereas this, everyone's behaving like the country's been decapitated, but it's a podcaster. And yes, he was tight within the circle of the Trump administration. And yes, he was what I would probably consider, if you look into it sort of honestly, he probably is at least one of the thought leaders of the conservative youth movement. So like, yeah, he was responsible. He was powerful in that sense. And then there's this whole there's these stories going around of like because he was becoming increasingly questioning of the Zionist like movement and Israel as a government, uh, that they are suggesting that Benjamin Netanyahu is involved. I don't know, like maybe again it's too soon to even be saying that, but these things are not off the table for me, given what
Uh,
Israel is like.
I think so. I was having a discussion with one of my former PSYOP battle buddies, uh, and he brought that up, and he truly believes that America is like a captive country. And he's like, you were in PSYOP, like, why don't you believe this too? And I was like, well, I can meet you halfway there on that, which is, do I think that it is possible that Israel was involved in a way? Yes, but not the way most people are like. I don't believe that, like, oh, Netanyahu hired somebody from or had some Mossad agent go out and find this kid and groom him, and it was actually a Mossad guy on the roof, and it wasn't this kid, and it was a false flag like that. Where I think this stuff is occurring is through Discord servers. It is through the internet where they're radicalizing these young kids,
Yeah, I think that's
basically.
more likely, right?
And it's not like, oh, Mossad set up the Discord server where they're at. They're putting out, so in PSYOP, you're putting these things into the ether, and you're allowing the public to chew on them, and then you're observing how the public or target audience acts, and then you shift, and you put another thing out, then you put another thing out, and you're trying to kind of like massage the target audience into a direction. And this
Yeah,
has been happening
absolutely.
for a long ass time. This
Well, because
happened with
people
the
think,
FBI and
well,
Islamic kids.
people are going to
Like,
hear you say that and they think, well, that can't be that effective. Actually, they've got really, really, really good at it. Fucking insanely, astonishingly good at it. They can target and get very reliable results out of this kind of shit. Like,
yeah, it happened a lot in the 2010s when there was the anti-Islamic culture. The FBI would be grooming these young Islamic kids all the way to the point where they would actually set them up and give them a fake bomb, and then they would
Yeah.
arrest them on the spot there, like totally entrapping these
Yeah,
people.
entrapment.
So do
I
foreign
just
nation states like Israel also do this? 100%,
Yeah, well,
because
they've been caught doing it before. Like
yeah, the
it's not like a theory. It's something. It's a precedent. Like
Yeah, I mean,
it's
if you open the PSYOP manual, dude, one of the biggest things is to sow discord within a target audience. And this is the
yeah,
best way to do this, is
yeah,
fueling the right, fueling the left, and just having everybody hate each other while
yes.
the rest of the world is
Chase
doing
Hughes
the
put out a
terrible
pretty
shit they're
good.
doing.
Chase Hughes put a good video out on this the other day. He's like the Charlie Kirk. I can't remember what I should have linked. I'll find it in a minute. But it was basically like, no, this is definitely being used to make you hate each other and fight amongst you, because this is a top-down thing, not a left-right thing. And
Yeah.
yes, it has exposed a lot of horrible shit. Like Mr. Sky, I want to address this. Think about the amount of doctors and nurses that supported his death. You think if you were under their care, would they let you die, if not kill you? So, like, he's got. Look, I can't argue with this. Like, there are so many people that have gone on to this social credit list that has been made by the community that I wouldn't want to be dealing with. I wouldn't want them employed in positions like this. Like, to be honest, that does terrify me. So I don't know but I also don't think the commensurate response is to create a social credit system where we're all fucked. We are all fucked under that. We are so much more fucked than the potential of ending up under one of these extremists' care. I think we're really ushering in something extremely dangerous that we don't understand as a rash solution to something also that we don't understand. And we're moving too quick on this, and there are so many other agendas at play that people don't want to consider. They don't want to consider it. People, I'm saying, like, do you really want to have all of this social idea and all that? But well, would you rather this lefty treat you? And I'm not saying this is you, Mr. Scott. I'm just saying, like, as a straw man argument here, like, people will usher in these social credit systems and age gates and end of privacy and all of this stuff and fucking despotic fucking shit that they wanted to install every which way for years, just because they are so energized and so emotional about this thing. And they refuse to even consider that it might be a trap. They can't compartmentalize the grief, which is legitimate and allowed and honorable, from the response that they want to make, which is just ill thought through, it's very stupid. Like
It's
it's scary.
I hate bringing it up because it's always a trope, but this is like the central thesis of the book 1984,
Mm.
in creating a society where everybody's tattletaling and reporting on each other and hating each other, and everybody's at each other's throats, right? You're totally spot on. This is going to usher in some terrible despotic dystopian bullshit that none of us on either side of the aisle or any part of the spectrum, because it's not left or right, so it is a spectrum, none of us want this shit. None of us want it. Those doctors and nurses, they were out there well before this. They're gonna be here well after this.
Mm.
Uh,
Well, that's
you know,
even Roger Agar. He's a film critic who I was talking about with Carmen Studer the other day. And I'm going to get to a couple of these comments in a minute because they're interesting and I want to expand on them. But like the Roger Agar doesn't do current news affairs, but even he did a Charlie Kirk video. So I'm like, fucking hell, even he's doing one. But his thing, because he's just supremely intelligent, very brilliant mind. And he right at the beginning of the thing, he narrowed in on the fact that you cannot assassinate an idea. It's almost like these people think these political giants like Charlie Kirk or Donald Trump are these people that are the authors of this poison that they've in their mind poison that they've sort of injected into the world. I'm quite literally phrasing from Rob, sorry. But this is not true. These people are just purveyor of these ideas that were there before and will be there after them. And in fact, you've just like magnified it by martyring this guy. So like, yeah, you can't. The social credit system is not going to erase the existence of these ideas or these people. It
no.
just won't, and it's going to fuck everyone in the meantime. It's going to fuck you even worse. But like we've got, if it was a trap, it was a good one. Because if you give people a political pass on violence, you're already on the slippery slope of Tim Pool's favorite word, civil war. And maybe that's it. And look at Nepal, which is a follow up, I'm assuming, to that. Yes. So look, Nepal snapped. They got to that trigger point. Someone described the left as a knob where they can ratchet up as a graded thing, like their violence, where they can sort of ease in and out. Whereas the right is a switch. It's very like binomial. It's on or it's off, and it's basically about to be switched on. I don't know if it's on or if it's not on, but it feels like it wants to be switched on very much so. It's been switched on in Nepal. Maybe the world is just at that point. We have been talking about like things, the boiling frog in the pot for a long time now. Maybe 2025 is the year where this happens, and they just need, if it wasn't going to be Charlie, it was going to be something else, the next one. Maybe that's it.
How do you view, or what do you think that switches for the right? What does that look like when the right gets switched on? Like, I feel like we know what the left is like because their MO has always been protests, rioting, arson. It's always been that revolutionary type aspect of things. But what does it look like for the right? I feel like the right's always been really restrained, and when these things flare up,
Well,
they get
that's
out
the
of their
point.
system and then just go away.
That's the
Everybody
point.
just
It's
goes back to
total
work.
restraint and law and order until it's like it turns into swift, orderly despotism and very competent despotism, like the Third Reich. We have seen it before. That's a good example. There's probably other examples of that, but that's the most glaring example. It's probably imperfect as an example, but those exact ideologies, by the way, like the NSN in Australia, they've taken a lot of popularity in this last year. They are becoming more actively involved. Australia is on a brink as well. We're at a breaking point, and we're going to a lot of these protests, and we're boiling over. And we've also, the guys in the march, was it yesterday or the day before, at the protest of the Sydney march, they're like, "You're going to have to get more bullets now because we're all Charlie Kirk now." I'm like, oh, God, I don't. What is happening? What is happening?
Yeah, but just do the people on the right, the American right, at least, like I just don't see outside of, some examples of fringe shooters like the Minnesota politician shooters and people like that. I don't see the right as a whole ever like rising up to something because this is like a fundamental difference in the structure of both sides too, where the left in the Democrat Party is very top down, where the
Yeah,
right is traditionally been a little bit more fractured. There isn't this
yeah.
united caucus, and by its very nature, right, the people on the right are more bottom up. So I just don't see, I don't know, I don't see some crazy stuff happening from
Well,
the
actually,
right.
Anthony Cumia was saying this the other day when he was, I think it was on the day or the day after it was happening. He was doing his live stream, and I didn't watch it. I was just seeing a clip, and he was just like, "I feel bad for us on the right. We don't know what to do. We're confused. We don't know what to do. People want to rise up. They want to be angry, but we don't know what to. We don't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
think
bad."
the way people are expressing it is through this cancel culture. Is, I think
So they
people are
went
like,
right
this
into
is
it.
the
Yeah.
way we're getting our revenge is against these people making these really tone deaf and dumb videos in
I
response,
mean,
like,
the the Charlie Kirk act is trending at the moment. This is really nothing. Actually, when you think about, I don't know, I haven't really thought about this too much, but it's a proposed revitalization of the Smith-Mundt Act, which was a anti-propaganda legislation that was repealed back in the day, I think, under Obama.
yeah.
And they want to revitalize it, bring it back, and call it the Charlie Kirk Act. I'm not immediately against that idea, given that it was a previous thing, but I have a feeling it won't be that same version of that previous thing with a different name. It'll be a whole new thing, and it'll be something that is just. I mean, who decides what is propagandistic? Like, there'd have to be pretty strict definitions on that. And how do you?
Yeah, so Smith-Mundt is something I think people take out of context. So having, like I said, been the psychological operations specialist in the Army, we were forbidden to build any sort of target audience list that would specifically target Americans. But in the new digital world, if we put out something, so like the theater of operation that I was in, we worked with a USAID journalist. We wrote stories for her that she would publish in the local paper in that foreign country. But that piece that we wrote would get syndicated across the globe in all of media. So you can't like partition off an American target audience from reading the propaganda that you created. And Smith Mund had to go because there's like you wouldn't be able to do psychological operations otherwise, which is like an important force multiplier for our military and national security interests overseas, whether you like it or not. It's just like
But
the way that it
and
is. So Smith
basically,
Munn had to go, right?
so
So
basically, it wouldn't be even possible to sort of really do now anyway with the new paradigm of how information is disseminated just to everyone so uniformly now. It's really it's geo. Is that a thing or is that not?
yeah, because I mean, anywhere you put it out, and they'll say the reason was, oh, we had Voices of America, and Voices of America was the old propaganda radio station that would broadcast from East Germany from West Germany into East Germany, right? So that was a different world where you could really only say, okay, we're only going to target this sort of people, but you can't partition out and shield all Americans from the propaganda.
Well, you can't because, like, I mean, I'm even American right now because of my VPN. Like, and so many people are on VPNs now more than ever as well. So, like, just even the accuracy of geo targeting is not going to be there anymore. Like, it's a failing method, I would assume.
Yeah, so maybe that's also why places like the UK want this censorship, is because that would be the way that you could shield your own country and audience from stuff, is by limiting what actually comes into your country's
Like China does.
ISP. Yeah.
Well, China has a hardware firewall on their cables. Like I'm not. That's a very simple way of putting it. It's not exactly like that, but they have basically infrastructure built into their nation that prevents certain traffic coming in, and it's very reliable. It can be circumvented, but it works largely to what they want it for. I don't agree with it, but that's exactly what England wants. Why haven't they just built that? No, instead they want to censor the entire internet. This is not what it's about. It's never what they say it's for is what it's for.
Yeah, there's always it always usually comes back to some national security issue on stuff like this. But Smith Mund, because it went away or got revised, I am not of the belief that it's necessarily been abused and that the American intelligence network is trying to psyop Americans. I think there's enough other institutional stuff that's non-governmental where everybody's getting psyoped on a daily basis anyway. I mean, even when you watch a car commercial and it's, the Subaru summer sales event and they play a certain type of music to elicit a response and an emotional appeal to you that makes you feel a certain way, I do digital marketing. We put a picture of somebody looking at the button we want you to click because that's going to increase the click-through rates by 5% versus if it's not there.
It's fucking weird how we respond to like silly little like. It sounds retarded when you explain it like that, but humans are so hackable like this, and this is
Very,
why.
yes.
That's why the people when you explain it like just the simple radicalization through social media and channels similar to, it sounds like it wouldn't be affected, but it just so is because of the nature of us being so easily hackable. Even people that know that they are hackable, it still
Yes.
works. It still works, even if you know that's what's happening to you. Well,
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes
I have 30,000 hours of my life between psyop, marketing, advanced degrees in marketing, doing marketing for Fortune 500 companies and local businesses, and even me, I'm still very susceptible to this stuff, and I have to catch myself a lot of the times, and I have to really step back. 'Cause it's so easy to have an emotional knee-jerk reaction to something, to
Yeah.
literally anything, and so much of it is subliminal. And you brought up Chase earlier. If anyone hasn't watched that video, like, you need to watch that video. Chase is a good guy.
You've seen the video I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I've seen the
Yeah.
video. I've been on the Chase train before
Perfect
he
for
even
what I want.
started kind
Yeah.
of splitting off on his own. I used to watch the behavior panel that he used to be
Right.
on back in the day, but he has worked with the PSYOP units, and he has, I would say, a really, really high level understanding of how this stuff works, because you can read the
I'm gonna
manual, even the stuff I got taught when I was in. We never went into like the academic psychology part of stuff, and that's what he really also brings to the table, as well.
Yeah,
So
so I'm gonna put 2 videos in the description actually right now. I'm gonna put Rob Agar's video, the one I was talking about earlier. I'm just editing the description now, and I'm gonna put that one by Chase Hughes because they're just. I was feeling really kind of lonely. Like I'm like, am I the only one that thinks this? And I seen Chase's video. I'm like, I don't feel crazy now. I don't feel crazy anymore. And and then Rob's video, and I'm like, okay, this makes me feel a bit better. Uh, just so much confusion on my end, That's all. Like,
I think
uh,
it's your reaction to this, not you personally, but you, the external you, is
mm,
where are you on the spectrum of normie to black pill?
right?
If you're totally just everyday mainstream normie going to work, you spend 5 minutes a day reading headlines or checking social media, and you've never been a part of a college political group or even a civic group or anything in your local community, and you see something like this, you're going to have a certain reaction. But if you're more probably like us, towards the black pilled side, we have a different reaction to it. And understanding maybe the normie side, which is going to be the bulk part of the bell curve, is not going to
Yeah.
make a lot of sense to
Well,
us right away.
the black pilling thing that's something that I feel like maybe I'm just more. I don't want to say it sounds cocky to say more advanced, more progressed in that, more evolved in that black pilled stage because that's why, and maybe that's why I didn't feel that big emotional shift from this because it's sort of like something it's sort of like a dam that already broke for me a while ago. Now I'm putting both of those links also in the chat. I've saved them in the uh fucking what do you call it? Description.
Well, there's also there's another step past black pilling, where you get white pilled.
Ah, yes.
And
Hold on. That
you start to circle back into normalcy and lose some of the pessimism, but then you can just opt out entirely, and I call that sitting poolside.
did that now we go. I've sent too many messages on my own fucking channel. Fuck you, Rumble. Sorry, I sent those 2 links and they've gone through as like one long link. Fuck Rumble. This is so painful. No, it's done it again.
Well, while you're doing that, you had mentioned, the response to, or how would the right wing flare up, and you cited the Third Reich. I actually think the most accurate analogy to what's going on now would be the late 60s and early 70s in America, where America had
Oh, like
a wave of assassinations.
segregation. Oh
Uh,
no, wait, when was segregation? That was earlier than that, wasn't it?
Segregation, the Civil Rights Act was the early 60s, and that led to a wave of assassinations in the United States in the late 60s and early 70s. A lot of that was people were kind of in the boiling pot because of the Vietnam War. In a different time of, are you going to get drafted? Are you going to have to go to another country and die? Are you going to have to kill a bunch of people that you don't know? And that Muhammad Ali kind of aspect, everything of it, or not. But I think the Overton window over time shifts back. So I think the Gen X millennial generation is kind of kind of have like this crazy generation of super liberalism, but I think Gen Z and Gen A are going to swing back to a little bit more of conservative stuff. One
Yeah.
thing I've noticed is the push for God. You listen to
Yes.
people like Tucker, Sean Ryan, Charlie Kirk. God
Well,
is
a lot of,
re-emerging in
and even
the
Gina, my
zeitgeist.
friend on Third Railify, she says her son, I think it was, she said he turned to God and stuff because of Charlie Kirk. So there was a personal. And to be fair to them, like they didn't want to talk about it at the time because it had just happened, and their show was not about that day. And I came in sort of like guns a blazing, like, what the fuck is all this about? And, but they were genuinely upset, and they answered the question, I think grudgingly, but they answered it, and that was fair enough. And so, like, they had their personal. I don't think those. I'm not really considering those two specifically, though. When I talk about this crazy reaction, they're not really the ones I'm thinking about. I'm talking about more like the people that I don't know. And even there are people that I do know that are really just so angry that while they might not be outwardly on their own platforms calling for civil war, they are on board with that sentiment. And now Mr. Scott almost feels, I don't want to speak for him, but he kind of feels like almost one of them. And I love him to pieces. But that's where the Black Pill side can see as a watershed as this being the beginning of the end, as I said before. And maybe it is. I don't know. Sometimes there are only pros and cons and no great solution. And so I'm guessing this is a continuation of the social credit thing that people are starting. And I say the database of people that have been celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder that's going around. I mean, and what, like, what would you call it? Like brutal despotic order? Because that's not sustainable either. Like that only the Third Reich was corrupt and it only lasted 12 years.
I think we're definitely tailing off of what started with the French Revolution and the whole Enlightenment era. I think that peaked a long time ago, and I think we're going back to how humanity has always been and what a lot of the world already or has always been. I think it's going to be some sort of authoritarian, dystopian stuff. That's where I'm at on the black pilled
Yeah,
aspect
because
of
it's
that sort of stuff. I just think it's gone. But then, coming from like the Ron Paul camp, uh, there's a term for it called the remnant. I forgot, it was Guy Hawk who wrote a book about it, where there's always going to be some remnant of people that are keeping the flame of liberty alive. And this was written about, I think, during like the Ayn Rand kind of era of things, and when all those types of books on the libertarian side started coming out. And it comes in waves. I think it comes in waves. As long as there's enough people to be the remnant and to keep the flame of liberty alive, it always will. But I am black pilled and not optimistic because of the types of technology that we have now that'll just make it so difficult to escape from. There is no French Revolution moment of storming the Bastille, because what are you going to do? Storm the data center and shut everything down? Like, so where do we go? So I'm just not too
yeah, just that
optimistic
whole
in that
thing of
regard.
reverting back to fucking authoritarianism. Like it does feel like this democratic sort of optimum state of living was sort of just a real flash in the pan. It was just like a few years through the 90s was the boom and golden years, and then, or maybe through the 80s as well, and then that was it. And then it was just sort of like being kind of fooling ourselves that we were still in that for another 20 years, and now we're sort of really at the end of going, okay, it's all over now. This was just like a real 2-second thing, and now we're going back to just killing each other again.
Yeah, there's from my
Like
perspective, a lot of normalcy bias within the normies, where really since post World War II, Western civilization has lived a certain way, right? And that has changed. We are entering a multipolar world, and things are going to be a lot different for a lot of people. So,
John Rob's the long night theory kind of guy at Kush. Oh, you're Kush.
I'm not too familiar with that. I'd have to You'd have to explain that a little bit more for me to understand. But I guess, going back to like this whole Kirk thing, where do we go from now? Does this become a moment where things escalate and get out of control, or does this become more like a Kyle Rittenhouse moment
Mm.
where, you know, before Rittenhouse we had the BLM riots and all that stuff, and then Rittenhouse happened and then it all stopped. So
See
is this
what?
a moment where there's a detente and a de-escalation and everyone kind of exhales until 5 years from now, the next thing that happens one-ups this thing?
Well, because there
Or
will be another thing that happens. There will be another one.
yeah, there's
There,
always
there
another thing.
absolutely will.
Yeah.
Uh, unfortunately, it's just you can't. Do you watch the Duran?
Duran, no.
Are we
Let me look
John
this
Ray?
up.
But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's fucking. It's very depressing because I mean, part of me also like there's also like at that first as well. I was like, so am I a bad person? Like, am I? Is that I'm not fucking so enraged to take up arms? Is that am I a bad person for not feeling that? Like, I feel sad for this, and I even like had a little cry over it for about a minute, a couple of days after it happened, and I was like, okay, I'm not a cruel person. I've got a heart. Like I'm not. This is clearly awful.
No, I,
Um,
I think that sounds like a pretty normal response. Like,
yeah,
it's not total indifference. You do
no.
have the empathy that Charlie Kirk said not to have, but which is
Well, it's
way out
also
of
when I
context. I'm joking on that, but yeah, yeah. I I think you're human if you have some sort of reaction, but you don't. He wasn't part of your circles. It's not
right.
something you consumed. He wasn't a hero
It's hard
for
not to.
you.
It's hard not to feel something if you see the footage of like him with his family and the little girl running up to him and all that sort of stuff. That is very difficult to watch. And so that is like I feel sad saying that right now. Like it is really sad. So I don't want that to be like I feel horrible for everyone who's lost. So I just don't want any of my questioning here to be misconstrued as a minimization of that. Like it's absolutely not.
No, but does beg the question, why doesn't society have this response for everything else that happens like this? Because every other victim of some sort of crime, they have their mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, like they have families and stuff too. Like, so have we just been terrible this whole time to not realize that? Or
Well, I mean, so again, it comes down to like I don't expect everyone to be utterly consistent on every single death. And I do accept that there are certain factors with Charlie Kirk that give it more magnitude. The fact that he was such a high public profile, the fact that he was a political thought leader, and that he had a lot of power in the conservative movement, and the fact that it took place on live stream in a very graphic way in front of his family. So there are a lot of layers to that make it even more shocking than, say, Irina, whatever her name is, Saprutska, or whatever. If I can't remember her surname, but the train chick, which was again a graphic video, less layers of shocking on it, but still incredibly shocking, totally senseless, equally as senseless.
is that full video out there?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen it, probably won't see it, but I saw the point where it stopped, and then I saw like the aftermath. So,
Yes. No, the full things out there. But yeah, it's not good.
no.
In fact, like I consider no, it's probably inappropriate. I could do a comparison there, but like I mean, in terms of being stabbed repeatedly and a single gunshot, I don't know. They're both graphic, but it's something about the knife is a more proximal and aggressive thing to me. Something about it. Not much, but a little bit, marginally so.
Have you seen the video out of Ukraine where the Russian and Ukrainian soldiers knife fight to the death, like the scene from Saving Private Ryan?
I haven't seen that movie in a very long time, so I don't remember that.
Yeah, there was a video that came out, I don't know, maybe a year ago. Very brutal body cam footage of the Ukrainian soldier going at it with a Russian soldier and like fighting over the knife, getting all bloody, and eventually one guy wins and then blows the other guy up with a grenade just to end his life out of mercy, sort of thing. Weird thing to say, but that one was pretty brutal too. Just a lot of shit out there, man. That
So the Duran is something apparently you should have a look at. Mr. Scott says they've been pushing the multipolar world thing term for a while. Had a theory of the long night where big tech controls everyone. It'll be like a matrix where there are only a handful of people that can see outside of it. I mean, that loosely sounds exactly like where we are right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it? Where is it? Oh, Mr. Scott, is it like on a fucking? I'm sure you could pirate it.
Is it a podcast or a movie or?
Yeah, is it like a Amazon video or something? Like a series? Sounds like a TV series. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to search for it on ChatGPT, but I can't find anything.
I didn't have any like fucking specifically like written out, and I just like had thoughts that I just wanted to talk about it, but I didn't want to talk about it, and I feel I need to talk about it, but I just like fuck. You know, I mean, I nearly did this stream the other day, but then I was like, nah, no one's gonna. I'm just gonna get a lot of aggression and hate. It's too early and too sore and whatever it is, whatever the word is, volatile.
Butthurt. They're gonna get butthurt.
Yeah, so
I hopped on because I was reading what you were putting in the Discord and all that.
Yeah, I mean, you're actually you're one of the better people to talk to about this because of like the stuff that you've been involved with and shit like that. And you seem like a pretty cool, calm, collected head. And I was, you know, and you're not one of these people that are going like, let's fucking go and shoot everyone now and make lists. So that's comforting, I know.
No, man, violence is never the way. The pen is mightier than the sword. We all have to check our knee-jerk reactions to all this, you know. So.
I do accept that there is a place for violence, and I'm not suggesting that like it's never ever an answer to anything, but it's not a positive solution in terms of like it is really it's in terms of like a last resort thing. It is sometimes occasionally required in that sort of thing, but this is not we're not in a last resort. This is not a last resort. There are so many.
What's a last resort to you? How would you define that?
Defending your own life against an aggressor in a similar way. So like for me, really, to me, it would be like someone's trying to kill me. Okay, I can kill them.
So like a one-on-one type situation. Okay.
Yes. No. Yes. So not in a civil war sense, like go out and just pick a target. I don't agree with that at all, really.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to clarify that because I think that's a dangerous thing too. Because there's a lot of
you're right.
There's a lot of moral relativism where nobody thinks that they're the bad guy. You know,
no.
if you're the guy that shot Charlie Kirk, total piece of shit. But if you try to like put yourself in his like psyche, he probably looked at Charlie Kirk as someone that was an existential threat to his way of life.
Well,
if he is truly, dating this trans person and all of that, and you see someone constantly going onto college campuses and talking shit about your way of life, to you, he is the bad guy. And then
there's a famous video of a guy going around, one of these people celebrating it, and they showed up to one of the vigils and are heckling the vigils at the vigil, which is repugnant. But they're sitting there, and this reporter's gone up to them, and he's like, "So, what do you think of this?" And then they're making fun of Charlie Kirk, and they're like, "Yeah, I would have shot him myself. Would you support a Nazis? Would you shoot a Nazi?" So this is how they've justified it. It's like, no, this is a revolutionary act. We've justified this as the right and righteous and moral thing, because to eliminate the Nazi is to eliminate the idea, which cannot be done, as Rob Agar suggested. Also, that sentiment will exist long before and after him. It still does, evidently so. And
it's dangerous now for the people on the right who.
And Hitler was also the leader of that movement. Like, he was the military leader of that movement. It's a completely different thing to kill him as it is to do someone who's just spreading ideas.
Well, I think it is, though, analogous in how this spirals out of control, right? Because back then it's whatever wing that Hitler represented versus that the left-wing Bolsheviks and Mensheviks and those types of stuff. So what I was just trying to say is there's moral relativism, right? Like it's Israel, Gaza. If you're an Israeli and you see October 7th, you're going to think and have a certain feeling about what should be done to the other side. And if you're a Palestinian, you're thinking about all the stuff Israel did to you. So it's like you never think you're the bad guy. You're going to internalize all of the bad shit based on your own cognitive biases and stuff. And it's very dangerous. We're in a dangerous spot, and everyone just needs to kind of just cool down and think about, like, what is the response here? And I think what the long-term response out of what happened is something we really need to pay attention to and keep our eye on.
I got slightly distracted for a second there because Third Railify has raided the stream. Wait, have you finished soon? Like, why did you finish? Hey, Gina, fucking everyone.
Can we have Gina join and read some smut to us?
Gina, your smut is required. You guys can join if you want, but the thing's in my fucking Discord.
Yeah, we need the knife rider.
Yeah, actually, I have put it just in the chat. I'll put it in the chat if anyone wants to join. I don't know why you've finished so soon, but I appreciate the raid. How come you did finish so soon? Fuck, this is going to be a struggle to keep up with all of these chats. Hi guys, what's up, Bulldozer? We've got Grandma's Boy, we've got fucking Gina, we've got, well, Sean was here already. Sean Squared, that is. Greg Ohio, fucking Simple Davey, Manda was up here before. Daniel Rube, my longtime YouTube friend. Fucking hell, all of these cool cunts. We got Nether Knight. Well, welcome in, everyone. We were kind of Sean. Yeah, why did Sean finish? Why did he finish early? Just to clarify, I was here before the. Oh, were you? Okay. Yeah, you were actually, because I've seen that. You're special, Manda. But yeah, we were going on, like, what do I refer to you as? The dude, Kush, fucking Dave. What is it? Like, fucking.
I don't know. What should I be? I don't know. My real name's Dave.
Yeah.
So you can call me whatever. You can call me piece of shit. I don't care.
Cunningham was saying, nah. Dave was saying all sorts of like. It's like way smarter shit. Like, he's a lot more eloquent than I am, and he's a lot more intelligent when it comes to like psyop stuff. And you're not saying this is necessarily a psyop, are you? But like this, but you can understand what I'm saying in terms of the red flags that are being infused. Well, the manipulations that are going on with it.
It immediately following it, there are stuff, and I'll explain this. So when I was I got to take part of this wargaming exercise in South Korea. I was more like a fly on the wall. My unit sent me attached with another like sister unit to go there to They wanted me to re-enlist, go to South Korea for like a vacation, but I got to witness everything that was going on. And how these war games work is they have an army of PhDs for a whole year. They put together what the war game is going to be. And you start at D-Day minus 60 days. Okay. The North hasn't attacked the South yet. You're doing your stuff. And this war game's got like tens of thousands of people, right? There's Marine units out in the field. There's Air Force guys flying planes. I was in this underground mountain and facility with like the liaisons from this part of the Air Force and this part of the Marines and this part of the Army. And then as the war game goes on, they push like the play button and then you go. And then eventually you get to like D-Day happens, the North attacks the South, and then you get D-Day plus 7 days. And built into this war game are certain events. And it'll be like, okay, the dam in this mountain region blew up and there's going to be all this water that's going to flood this village. What do we do to help the civilians? What does this mean for military troop movements in the area? And you war game these things so that when those events happen in real life, you've practiced it and you know how to respond to it. So I fully believe that, say, the powers that be, the elites, the oligarchs, whoever is kind of the man behind the curtain, they've named all of this shit, right? So when an event like this happens, what's up, buddy?
What's up?
That
What's up, brother?
that they're able to push play on a response. They've already mapped out the vulnerabilities and susceptibilities of what would happen in it. What is it, a psyop to have actually killed Charlie? No, but they probably had it in a book somewhere. What happens if a high-level influencer gets assassinated?
Yes.
And what do we do?
Yeah.
What is the response to that? How do we try to fuck with everybody mentally?
Yes.
Try to persuade them
exactly.
and influence them into a certain direction. So
if it's well, first of all, hey Davey, thank you for joining us,
Hi.
brother. I did put the link in the Rumble chat if anyone wants to jump on. How are you, brother?
Amanda bullied me to come on. I'm like, I gotta go to bed. I gotta go to, and she's like, just go on. Shut up. Just go on. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go.
It's all right. You don't have to say. I mean, I don't know how much longer we'll go anyway. Like I've been on. What is it? It's only been an hour, but like, fucking, we were just like talk because everyone's talking about Charlie. It's become like, and you can't escape it. So and I was going to do it the other day, and I was a bit raw, and I was still very much confused and not sure how I felt about it. I still kind of am, but
well, I mean, it was horrific.
Yeah.
I don't care if you liked him, you didn't like him. I started watching a bunch of stuff of his again, and just like realizing that people don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Right.
You know, it's either you don't know what you're talking about or you just want to be offended. That's all it is. Not, there's no mincing what he said. He said what he said, and it wasn't. Now congratulations. You've brought Milo out of retirement. How fucking stupid are you?
What's up, Cassie, my lovely gun?
You just brought Milo Yiannopoulos, who was just like, I'm done with this. This is bullshit. And all of a sudden, you woke him up, and he's like, well, I'm gonna go. And I started watching Milo stuff again, and I'm like, oh, yeah, no, Charlie was the better one, but now you don't have the one who wants to have a conversation. You're gonna have the one who, he's gonna stuff it in your face.
Milo was very cutting, and Milo can be extremely entertaining. Like he is not a dumb guy, but he is very, very rude.
He's flamboyant and over the top.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Very.
Yeah, deliberately so.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I haven't seen him since he kind of disappeared. But when he came onto the scene, like 10 years ago already, that was a very different kind of atmosphere and culture at the time too.
That was a wild time.
Yeah.
Did you see
that was like the Richard Spencer era and all of that too. So
what's this you talking about here, Scott? The book of Charlie's assassination was posted the day before he died.
Yeah, there was a book called The Killing of Charlie Kirk that was published the day before Charlie died, and then Amazon went in there and changed the date of publication to the day of or the day after he was killed.
Yeah, so when you upload, like if you have a book and you upload it to Amazon, that is an editable field that you can put in. So you can have put that came out a week before, a month before, a day before. Some people did try to say that there's a 48 to 72 hour like approval period on it, but I don't know. I'm a little skeptical on that one.
I'm skeptical because it seems ultra specific for someone who isn't a political leader in an elected sense.
Well, if you're a troll, you can write a 30-page book about everything that happened with AI using Claude or something in 5 minutes, and you can create a novel cover and put it up. Like,
listen, those are the people who are the most educated out there. You know, they keep telling us that the people who vote a certain way are the most educated. They went to the most school, and they're brilliant. And then they write a book.
And that's why they're all baristas, right?
That's why they all work at Starbucks. Listen, I don't care. I want some girl with fucking chopped meat hair pretending to be a certain race, to make my latte because it tastes delicious.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying that specific thing that people are pointing to. That, oh my god, because dude, I remember when 9/11 happened. And I got home from school. I was a junior in high school. I went home, I got on the internet, and there were already fake videos like of people standing on the balcony with like the camera and the plane coming, and there were Photoshop edits and stuff happening immediately. And a lot of that stuff I saw like come out in those first few hours after are still bullshit like narratives that I see like today that people are repeating. So I don't know about that Amazon thing.
Well,
to be honest.
I don't know who I hate the most in the situation, people who are wishing more death on people or people using this for a money grab.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't even think of that angle. My mind just went to somebody trolling everybody, and
no, there's people putting out stuff that saying they're the official Charlie Kirk, fund or whatever it is, and just starting Send Go whatever it's called or GoFundMe's.
Well, there's also like under every Charlie Kirk post, there's people selling that freedom shirt that he was wearing. Yeah. They're selling that under all of the posts.
Well, I've seen that, but I've also if you go into some of them, because I don't like to just not research. They have a freedom shirt with a bullet wound also.
Oh, and they've got a fucking like a G.I. Joe doll with the blood spurting out in the position and everything. A Charlie Kirk doll. It's
prepare yourself for that because Halloween's coming up. So there's gonna be a lot of people having those costumes.
I'm still here. I'll be back.
Yeah. So Davey, you're not a fan of the Clinton Foundation taking all of the money from the Haiti earthquake?
Well, I mean, listen, some called it a shithole nation for a reason.
Stealing all the money. You're familiar with this though? Like when the earthquake happened, like what was it, like 15 years ago or whatever, and the Clinton Foundation came in, took all of the money that like Bono and that concert raised, and then they used it to just
have a wedding for her daughter,
steal all of the land of the Haitian farmers and build resorts and stuff.
Well, that's what they're doing. They did in California also. They raised, I think they said what was it? Close to $1 billion or something, or $100 million, some astronomical number, and it went to all the foundations. And nobody. By the way, Spencer Pratt has become the unsung hero of people I never thought would be an unsung hero of California, but he's exposing Gavin Newsom of everything that he's doing for the fires in California, and supposedly they did the same thing. They had a big fundraiser. All the non-profit organizations made the money, and supposedly 150 million only went to the people.
So, not so interesting says, do we actually propose a law about stripping U.S. citizens' passports for criticism of Israel after Kirk's death? I heard that people would be denied visas, so foreigners will be denied access to visas to the. So we won't be able to visit, or I say they won't be able to visit or come and work in the United States at all apparently, if they are found to be criticizing. That's foreigners, though. I don't think there's anything you can do constitutionally to. I mean, I don't think you could just take someone's passport away for that.
No. This is just part of the overarching Trump narrative of who are we letting into the country? Like we should, not
Yeah.
wanting to allow
So,
people to the country that openly like hate America or espouse things that are anti-American.
so that
Stuff.
includes anything anti-Israel, and now it's also including anything anti-Charlie Kirk. So this is an expansion of things which is uncomfortable to me.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially just, it is what it is. You're going to get people who are going to criticize no matter what and say false things about, just like the other way around. If it happened to a liberal and you'd have a lot of people who are considered conservatives not doing anything, but you'd have the Nick Fuenteses and those kind of people dancing on those people's graves. And, for me, I'd call that out because I think that's bullshit. You don't dance on somebody's grave.
I've not even heard this one, Redneck. I didn't fucking even know people were that fucking. I mean, I did know people were that stupid. What am I talking about? I forget times though. Like, we literally seen it. We watched him die, and it was instant. Like, I'm pretty sure that was an instant. Fortunately, and I say that to to bring some sort of relief to people that I don't think he was suffering. He may not have even known he was ever shot. Like,
no, he was. If you know anything about blood loss, he was gone before he hit the ground.
Yeah, and that's when I got sent that video, and they're like, he's in stable condition. I'm like, no, he's not.
No, that's a technicality because of the family needs to be properly notified, and they go through the paperwork and all of that. But I mean, they were there, so they knew.
Yeah,
but like.
It was instantaneous.
Yeah, they held off on that announcement, I think, out of respect for the family and everybody else.
They always do
put that out. To not put it out right away. But like, I went through language school with the Special Forces Green Beret guys. One guy was a medic, and he told me in the medic program they actually run through these scenarios where they'll get a live pig, sever the artery of the pig, and have them try to like stop it. And according to Army doctrine, you have less than 3 minutes with an arterial bleed and you're done. And 3 minutes is like the long end of that. It could be as short as like 30 seconds to 60 seconds. So like,
I mean, because the other thing is it failed catastrophically in the sense that he was wearing a Kevlar vest and it recoiled up into his neck, right? Well, it wasn't a straight shot to the neck. It went.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, it hit. You can see they've slowed it down and you can see the bullet coming in, hitting the vest. The vest, that's what the puff up at the first bit was about. I can't show it because of the platforms we're on. I could probably I wouldn't anyway. Like it comes in, it hits his thing, it puffs the Kevlar vest up and it bounces and fragments and it knocks his ring off. That's why people say, oh, the ring was on one finger and then on the next. It was like one of those half rings. It didn't go all the way around his finger. And in that picture, in that still image where it appears like it's on his pinky and it's changed fingers, it's actually in midair and it's flying off his hand. And you can see it in another frame where it is flying off his hand, either that or a broken half because it was hit by the bullet. But anyway, it came through in that trajectory, hit the vest and then fragmented up and killed him that way. So the vest, in that sense, it failed.
Was he wearing a normal like regular plates, or is it the one that like a cop would wear under their stuff?
Daniel Rhodes said it was a ceramic rifle rated vest.
Okay, because like the ones cops wear, if you get shot with a 30-06, that'll actually make it like worse for you. Then that's not stopping a 30-06 round. Like,
well, because it's just, it will also seem kind of like for it to fragment, and because it didn't even hit it, he wasn't even shot in the neck. He was shot in the chest, and he died.
I didn't even know that because I did not want to watch that video more than a couple times.
Right. So like it's supremely unlucky. Like, I mean,
yeah. Wow.
Just to fragment off like that and kill him, even though he wasn't actually hit, because it looked like he was shot directly in the neck, but he wasn't. And so
what does the world look like if that Vest saved his life.
Well,
Yeah.
if he wasn't wearing a vest, would he have could potentially have survived a different wound in a different area? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, these are pointless questions maybe to ask, but like maybe not at the same time. Like, there is gonna
My
be
mind
another.
just goes to like how the timeline shifts. You know, if Trump doesn't move his face, what timeline are we living in now? If Charlie survives, what does that timeline look like?
MDFL says he was not wearing a vest. I disagree with that, but I mean, I'm
Yeah,
prepared to be proven
it
wrong. I
it
think he
looked
was, but
it looked like he was wearing a vest, but I think listen, I think the same thing as you, but I think what happened is it hit like right here and then
yes,
ricocheted this way, and because you're right, it does look like the vest puffed up a little bit, the shirt and everything, and you could
yeah.
see the imprint of the vest on, and
Mm.
yeah, I think it
I think
was
even in one of the high resolution stills, you can see the bullet coming in to the vest, like it's at the actual point of impact on the vest. In the same sense that they caught the bullet going right past Donald Trump, in just happened to. Like, there are enough people around with fast moving shutters that are capable of taking these kinds of shots at these events. So it seems like people think, oh, this is set up. How could someone possibly have got that still frame? Well, it does happen. Like, the equipment's pretty good these days.
but
Uh,
what's the end game? What did they think? What did he think was going to happen? Like this, like he was going to do this and that was it. Like nobody was going to pick up
well,
the
this
torch and do anything, or like what?
as if it wasn't going to magnify the movement, as this exactly has happened. Now, I was mentioning Rob Agar's video before you came on. I've linked it below. I've linked 2 videos below in my description that I want everyone to have a look at. One's by Chase Hughes about how this is a big scam. It's being, not the whole thing is, but like it's being used as a scam. And the other one is by Rob Agar about like people think you can murder an idea by killing this person off. It doesn't work. It didn't work with Hitler. Hitler was different because he was or pick anyone, a Pol Pot, whoever you want to do. Fucking like removing those people, there is a different circumstance because they're a military leader. But when it comes to thought leaders, you can't destroy the idea. You can destroy people who are enacting the ideas, but Charlie Kirk was not that person.
No,
So
you just
it's not going to be effective in there.
you just turned this up to 11, you dumb motherfucker. Like you have no idea. I think they said they accepted 32,000 applications to start new Turning Point USAs around the country. 32,000 applications since Wednesday.
I don't
What?
I don't think somebody like this thinks about the end game. This is a 22-year-old kid
Thank you, Nero.
whose brain is not fully developed yet. He is still on the ass end of puberty with hormones raging, living in the Reddit Discord world that is not a very real one. And to him, it's like a crime of passion almost. Like he's offended about something and went out and thought he'd be a hero to his milieu, to his crazy trans activist terrorist friends that are all probably just as dumb and young and all of that. Like,
So Alex
there's
Jones
no end
reckons he
game.
wasn't wearing a vest, apparently.
Well, it could have ricocheted off his collarbone.
Listen, it all looked,
Yeah.
the whole thing, and anybody could Monday morning quarterback. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
It
he's
looked
dead.
like he had something.
I just want to say thanks to Nero because he's always fucking helping people, not just me, but
Nero's the
everyone. He's
fucking
always
best.
always helping people like with the community grow and share shit out. He's really good for that thing, so I appreciate you, dude. And everyone else who's here as well. It's a rifle round. Unless he was wearing a steel plate, there wouldn't be a ricochet from the vest.
Listen, guys, nobody
Yeah, I don't know much
nobody
about
knows.
that.
The only people that know are the cops, the FBI, and the coroner. Nobody
And
knows.
we'll never
Everybody-
know because it's so potent now. But there's so many details that we would have otherwise known about this, but because of the potency of the situation now, this is going to be classified information.
Yeah.
This is a way that a lot of people died in Iraq, though, that were wearing full kits. Is through the neck and the collarbone, and it would
Is
ricochet
it?
around. Yeah, I knew.
Why is it just
I
like
knew.
this
I knew
very
some people. It's
formidable piece?
just how it worked out, I guess. I don't think there's a reason for it, but that's an exposed area at the time when I was in, that a lot of people died that way, or getting
I
shot
mean,
in
I
the
could be
side.
wrong. Maybe he was shot directly in the neck, but from what I say, no one's pretty convinced that he wasn't. The ricochet thought the ricochet people thought they saw was actually a lapel mic exploding. Apparently, okay, that could, yeah, I might. I kind of don't want to go back and look at it again now, but now I do. There's still images that are less disturbing that you can analyze. It wasn't a
It's a
transgender
hefty
crime.
round. It's a hefty round, ricochet or not. Like, you're gonna be dead right away. Like,
So
anyone that
Mushroom on
deer
YouTube
hunts knows.
says it wasn't a transgender crime. The kid came from a gun-toting family and it was a gory part. I don't believe that, Mushroom.
Yeah, how many
No,
how many
no,
people on
no.
the left?
I'm gonna push back on that
Yeah.
right a fucking way. It was 100%. This guy is in these discords and Reddits with these crazy 09A tranny terrorist like groups, dude. Like, this isn't
It's
some
it's
gun
also,
toting
I think,
Republican bullshit. Fuck that narrative. That is so dumb.
Well, that's the thing.
yeah, and
How many people
I
have
want
come out and said, sorry, Daniel, how many people have come out and been like, well, my parents are Republican and I don't want to be like my parents on the left,
right,
you know?
right. No, good point. And I will also want to try and avoid the profiling of because this is what they need, because it's not, honestly, there are a lot of disgusting people on the left that are doing this shit, but there's a lot of people that on the left that are really quite upset about this too, like that aren't doing that stuff.
Yep.
Like, it really I think it's extremely dangerous to just do this.
I'm not saying that this is a trans specific thing, but there are corners of the internet that exist that are pushing a lot of crazy radical extremist shit.
Absolutely, and
That's
there's
like this.
overlap with
The
the
right
transgender
lives
shit.
on 4chan in those types of platforms. The left in these types of groups live in another corner of the internet. He was born out of those crazy extremist corners. So, like, I'm not saying it's a trans specific thing, but it is related. It was Antifa adjacent type stuff. And where did I have this tweet? I can even bring this up because
Well, that's
Yeah,
the
the
thing. Like,
mainstream media are avoiding a lot of stuff because they are culpable for a lot of ratcheting up of sentiment, and
how do I share my screen out here?
they're kind of, they're probably legally bound to try and avoid saying certain things right now because they know they're fucking culpable of ratcheting shit up. They can't
well, they
not
also know they also know the president's not against suing them
Did
either.
someone else? Oh, you're sharing a screen.
These groups exist. Okay.
What does this
This
say?
was a group that his boyfriend or girlfriend, or whatever you want to call him, was a part of. Right.
Oh. So what is Arms Quiz is excited to be the newest members of so what is going on here? What are we looking at here? Is this like some vigilante group of queers?
Yeah, this is probably that boyfriend and 7 other people that he knows that started Armed Queers for Salt Lake City, and it's like
Wasn't it
an Antifa LARPing group and stuff like that.
Was it in? I thought it was in Provo. This happened in Provo, wasn't it? Where was he?
Yeah, but what was the boyfriend of Twigs or something like that? I think was a part of, or maybe was even the founder of this group. And this group is now a part of this other larger group. This is how it works on the left, especially like on campuses and stuff, is you'll have students setting up all of these little like Native Americans for this or Black people for that, or the union gays for unionization and stuff like that. There's all of these weird little tiny like groups that pop up on every little campus, and they fight for money and try to bring in speakers. That's how like Charlie gets to do this stuff on campus and stuff, is one of these conservative groups pay him and then he travels there, and they host him and bring him in. And it's not just a Charlie thing. That's how Shapiro or like any of these speakers come in. And usually they get paid a lot of money. The groups will actually pull money from the university. They'll pay for their flights, their lodging, a speaking fee. When I was doing my activist stuff, we got Ron Paul to come to the University of Wisconsin. We had to get like 3,000 signatures for him. It was like on Constitution Day. We got the signatures. We submitted it to his campaign or whoever runs his stuff, and then he came to campus and he had a fee. They brought in what was his name? Tom, the economics guy. Tom, why can't am I blanking? Tom something at the time. So this happens like all the time. So yeah. These people were immersed in like this weird culture of stuff. So it's not an LGBT specific thing, right? To your point, but these people were definitely part of weird trans terrorist like corners.
I gotta say as well, among the LGBT, there's a big fracture as well between the LGB and the rest of the letters in that Wi-Fi password. There are like they're almost separate communities.
Yeah, it's not a homogenous community.
Yeah. Whereas everything after the B is quite radical and seems to be invested very heavily in an extreme ideology, whereas the LGB, they're about half and half. Some of them are very conservative. And
you're not two-spirited?
Not personally. No,
okay.
I have 54 spirits, but like
I saw. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it.
I saw this big black gay dude on X talking about how he was told he wasn't black or gay anymore. So he just said, all right, my name is Tom and I'm a straight white dude. And it sent me. He's like, how? I guess I'm just not black and I guess I'm just not gay.
And I'm 20 years old now as well.
Like people are just so fucking weird.
Like, fucking Milo did it. He's like, I'm not gay anymore. I'm like, yes, you are, cunt. Look at you. My dog knows you're gay. I don't even have a dog. And he knows you're gay.
Listen, God works in mysterious ways, but that's a mystery to me. That is a mystery to me. All of a sudden, you just wake up and you're like, I'm not gay. Can you just get it out of me first can I get it out of you before you start yelling, I'm not gay? Sure.
Maybe he went through the conversion therapy. I don't know.
Listen, that's crazy too, that we used to do that to people. Just listen, I'm for just do whatever you want. I just don't want
let your freak flag fly, man.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. There's no reason why like you should be like, I'm gay. Congratulations. Like, I guess I maybe I don't have a shot with you anymore, sir. I didn't want one, but I guess I don't have one now. Or do I have one? What are we doing here?
I think this just circles back to identity politics, and everybody wants to have an identity, And
everybody wants to feel special. That's the thing. Everybody, you're not fucking special. Sorry. That's the way everybody's made. Not special. You're not special.
But this is why it happens at college campuses, because this is where people are trying to figure out their identity. They've moved out of the nest. Who am I? All of this stuff. And people are very vulnerable and susceptible at that point in time. And there's a huge war for minds, because once you capture somebody to whatever ideology, once they get out of college, the data says it's highly unlikely for the rest of your life that you're ever going to change whatever tribe you like plant your flag on. So if you come out of college being Republican, you're going to be lifelong Republican. You come out being Democrat, you're going to be lifelong Democrat. So
it's just similar in a sense that this is why I think there's you know about the personality dimensions, how there's like 5 different dimensions in like sort of like in terms of Jungian psychology, they define each personality by these different dimensions. So like on one end you've got conscientiousness on the end, and on the other end you've got creativity. and
like
they're
agreeableness and
go agreeableness and all that sort of stuff. So there's the big 5 dimensions that they talk about, or 5 traits. Those things are very reliable predictors on the way that you'll vote, and those things are also very fixed in the same way that you just described. They're very unchanging. It doesn't mean that you can't work to your strengths and weaknesses and fashion them to the most optimum way of being, but it does mean that you are set with strengths and weaknesses, and that you have to figure out how to optimize them in the way of being. You can't change those fundamentals. And so I think this is kind of similar to why what you said is why it is, because it's tied in with personality.
Yeah, on college campuses, there an army of nonprofits and people on K Street in DC that pour money into this stuff to go after college kids for this, and they look at those personality traits and stuff like that too. But when you go to college, right? I mean, for most people, high school is like fairly awkward unless you were just the stud homecoming king and queen or something like that, right? And maybe you were bullied or you just didn't fit in here or there, and you get to college and it's a way to, you're trying to set your identity. And this is where intersectionality really came about, and why it was attractive to a lot of college kids is because now you get to say, oh, I identify as like this part of the Venn diagram, but I'm also this thing.
Yeah, they can add up the point.
Well, you're also missing the fact that you're trying to throw hormones into kids who are hormonal and then sending them into college.
100%. I'm just
a
explaining
girl.
the war of minds that's going on. Because I personally worked for a nonprofit called the Leadership Institute, and they sent me to college campuses to set up a table and identify kids, to start groups and stuff like that. And I would get people giving me the Charlie Kirk treatment when I'd set up a table with just a poster of Ronald Reagan. And I wouldn't say anything, and people would come up to me screaming in my face, "Didn't you know?" And I'm like, I don't even like Ronald Reagan. I just put this out here to get engagement. Like, but people would be screaming and screaming at me. And, I think that's why maybe a lot of people like Kirk as well, is because he was able to actually get people to engage in debate, and just stop screaming and stuff. But people don't know this. Like, if you weren't in this activist world, like, it is massive. It is massive. People getting paid for this stuff. It's a lot more prevalent than like normal people think, if you haven't been around it. So,
well, then you also have the sheep that follow. You have people who are getting paid to do this, and they prey on the people who would just sit there and follow and do whatever you tell them to do.
Well, that's part of the personality dimension. I was talking about the agreeableness, and that is a trait that people can latch on. These are the most malleable ones.
Mm-hmm.
You can make them switch from ideology to another, but
you're also going after people who just want to be liked at this point. You know what I mean? College kids, high school, the end of high school to the beginning of college, you go from being the star athlete at one school and in your hometown to being in a totally different place. So all you want to do is be liked. And, if you weren't liked in high school and then you go to college and all of a sudden you got a bunch of people telling you, oh, you're this, you're that. Oh, we love you for this. We love you for that. And blah, blah, blah. And that person's evil. Stay away from them. You kind of go with that group and that crowd. And a lot of people are learning now that those people aren't really your friends.
No.
A lot of them are pretty fucking extreme on their views, and you're like, well, maybe
no, because the donors behind all, because you hit it right at the head, Davey. Like, people just want to be liked, and now you have a bucket, and these people telling you, oh yeah, because if you're the fat girl in high school that is this ethnicity or whatever, now you're also meeting the other fat girls from the other high schools, right, and they belong to this and this and this.
Omega move.
Maybe it's a cultural heritage, an ethnicity thing, it's a political thing, it's whatever, and now you feel liked, right? But the people who are like you said, who are telling you, oh, you are now liked, they're getting funded by these billionaire donors that are sending activists to these colleges that are preying on these kids, and exploiting them for all sorts of different reasons, right? So you want them to be part of the party, part of a campaign, to volunteer for SCIU, the union organization, all that sort of stuff. So, and this goes all the way back to Saul Alinsky He wrote a book called Rules for Radicals. Every activist on either side reads that book and understands those rules quite well, and they're used often. So,
who was that former KGB agent from Russia who talked about back in the 80s that if you capture them in schools and start to change their minds in the schools, that they will follow you to wherever it is and
I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember his name. Start with a Y, I think.
Yuri Bezmenov.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Yuri Bezmenov. Talking about how you infiltrate the schools and that's how you get the kids. And you've seen a lot of, I mean, especially during the pandemic, parents heard about what teachers were saying about certain things, and we're going to PTA meetings and then getting arrested and looked at by the FBI, and you're like, wait a minute, you want to talk about freedom of speech, yet you were having parents arrested at a PTA meeting for voicing their opinions of they don't want their children to watch porn or read porn in school at the age of 6 and 7.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, they're harassing teachers and the FBI is looking at them. And now you want to, and, you're getting people fired, trying to get people fired for having an opinion that they want the kids. And now all of a sudden it's the other shoe, the shoe is turned. And now all of a sudden people are angry that they're getting fired from their jobs. And it's like, well,
is my campaign all covered up for you guys too? Like if I...
Yeah, it's cutting up.
Ah,
You didn't pay your internet bill again, did you?
I did.
I did. I did.
No, it's this fucking... I don't know if it's my GPU or if it's StreamYard or if it's the camera. No.
Yeah, I don't know. My internet has been funky lately. Everybody's internet has been funky. Apparently, there's been like this shark cutting tool that's in the ocean, cutting off internet to certain fucking countries.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you got some like kangaroos chewing through your wires down there, or what?
We've got really bad internet in Australia. We were like the fourth slowest in the world, but it's got enough upstream for me to usually like. It's not. It shouldn't be the problem. I don't think it's the internet's the problem. I think it's StreamYard. Or I don't know. I've never fucking done anything different before. Sorry.
Listen, I understand this. Every time I go onto a new show or something like that, or even my own show, the lighting changes.
Yeah.
On OBX, and I'm like, why you I hit OK, I hit accept, apply, and every time I come on, you just change it up on me.
Or if someone puts up a screen share, like when I'm on Sean's show, someone will share their screen, and then as soon as they've pulled the screen share down, I fucking all my cameras are fucked.
Holy shit, Mushroom! I mean, it just sounds like a fucking Kamala Harris speech right now. Cognitive dissonance is a psychological discomfort from conflicting ideas or actions, and brainwashing leveraging is that this discomfort for creating just why. You
copied and pasted that without actually understanding what it really means. It's just holding two competing ideas in your mind. It's really all that it means. And repeated messaging. If you could like lend some relevance to how you feel that was worth mentioning, we could play with that.
Listen, when you just start reading words or just using words that just happen to sound smart, that's the less smart I think you are. Sorry.
Cognitive dissonance is real. It's very real. Bias.
Yeah. I know, but when
it's a huge problem for most people, myself included, like Daniel said, it's when you're presented with new information that conflicts with your worldview, how do you handle that? It's how open-minded are you at the end of the day to take in new information?
See how this just focuses in on how it feels, the discomfort. It's like it's got nothing really to do with the discomfort. It's just really speaks to holding competing ideas. It doesn't give a fuck how you feel about it. Cognitive dissonance in this case is in the same side attacked each other. The brainwashing starts in denying that, but the same side attacked each other. No, it's just there's really no evidence for that. If there was, I would probably accept that that's what's going on, and I'm not in any way denying that there's a problem on the right side of things. In fact, that's kind of central to why I made this whole live stream in the first place. I have deep concerns about what happens now.
Yeah,
from
the
this.
extreme right and the extreme left, they're both fucking garbage.
Yes,
Okay.
and
Is Mushroom accusing me of cognitive dissonance because I said it was the trans thing and they said it wasn't?
I'm guessing so, or just people in general that feel that it's not a right winger. The kid's not a right winger. First of all, I'm not even convinced it's that kid. But let's play with the idea that it is, because I'm not saying it's not either. I'm not sold on anything yet. What's this?
That's the
persuade
unit logo
thing.
for psychological operations. So if everyone wants to accuse me of not understanding what cognitive dissonance or brainwashing or propaganda is, I literally did that in the military. So I think I'm not as good as Chase Hughes, but I'm there.
I don't know if Mushroom's actually attacking anyone. I think
No.
they just.
I don't think he's just. I think he just put it in there. Just listen, both sides of the spectrum, extremes are garbage. The problem
100%.
But the problem is that those are the most vocal and those are the loudest. And then, but it seems like, and I try to follow every side so that way I get every angle of it. But it seems like the one side is really bad at knowing when to shut up about things, when they should just go, hey, let's just not talk about this, or hey, let's just be sympathetic towards the situation, like when Trump got shot or Scalise got shot, or who else?
There was a softball charity game where the people got shot. Gabby Gifford got shot.
All the kids in the church the other week. Fucking the bird on the train.
They had one the same day in Colorado.
Yes, they did.
And no
one heard about it. Yes, no. I heard about it in passing, and I was confused, thinking I thought it was in Utah, and because I thought when they say school shooting, because this was at a college, I thought that's what they were meant, and I'm like, oh, it's a different state.
And then the next day, Annapolis had a shooter involved. It's just weird how all this stuff is just happening at the same time. That guy that did the shooting a couple months ago in another military base, like,
is this the worst year? Not say it's probably hard to say the word, but is this probably, let's say, in terms of tallies for shootings, is it one of the worst years on record, or is it similar to others?
To be honest with you, I don't even know, because I think we consider it the worst year because we see every one of them. And I mean, if you see one a day, that's 365.
Right, but there are numbers. Like, I think there's 105 now this year.
But like I said, I don't know compared to years before. Like I said, I think the fact that we're seeing more and more of this stuff online, the more we think it happens more and more. But I mean, it could be less than it has been 10 years ago. We're just seeing more of it, or it could have been more than we have seen in the last 10 years. Like
I don't know if that's 105 people or 105
656 in 2023.
Wow.
586 in 2024, and we are at 309 in 2025. So
okay, so it's about normal.
Yeah, it seems about normal. It may recency bias might make it appear that it's more. And this is defined as 4 or more shot. I think something like that.
The both sides argument is some bullshit, though. One side is clearly very more violent than the other. It's not even comparably close. Now, with that, I can't really deny that. I really, and there's someone, you could prove me wrong on that, but there does seem to be.
I'm not talking about the shootings. I'm just talking about in general how despicable people are. I'm not talking about that there's more violence from one side, because obviously, I mean, just look at what happened January 17th, 2020. What was it? January 17th, 2017, the inauguration of Trump, where they burned down DC, and then they had the Summer of Love after that, and then they burned down a guard shack and threw Trump in a little holding cell so that way nothing happened to him, and they came out and held the Bible upside down.
Well, they did that over George Floyd as well, and no one burned anything over Charlie Kirk, from what I can see.
No, there's actually people stomping through visuals of Charlie Kirk, which is
Yes,
disgusting
I've
and
seen
gross.
that.
They get what they deserve, but
It's supposed to be Truck Driver Appreciation Month, and we're going to be preempted by all these shootings. Damn it! Well, yeah.
Well,
Say goodbye to any other celebratory fucking initiative you had planned this month, because even
this is
Twitter
Charlie
is
Kirk month.
Charlie Kirk tube now. Everything is Charlie Kirk, and I'm not saying that to be like resent. I'm not saying that in a resenting way. I'm just you cannot escape it. Considering what was
I would say though that rhetoric or extreme ideologies are probably equal on both sides, but I do think the violence tends to be weighted a little bit more towards the left because their own mantra is by any means. The
Daniel,
whole
you're not
Che
wrong.
Guevara revolutionary stuff is very like foundational to that ideology. But I think there's just as many right wingers who talk about shit like Civil War, but then they never like it. They don't
Well,
do
they're
anything.
laughers. They're just in cosplay. Like they really, and
it's
some of them, they see the shit that I've been keeping different bookmark folders on Twitter about this stuff. So I've got I've got an actual neo-Nazi folder, and I've got a Charlie Kirk folder now. And it's fucking interesting to see the way that people are, because I don't even know if these are real individuals. There are half of them, if not more, probably bots.
yeah.
But that's not really the point of my collecting them. It's like this content is there in huge numbers. There's a lot of Hitler and Third Reich, what's the word? Fan accounts that are like they're really getting up, like it's a kink,
it's fan fiction.
Yeah, it's like they're almost erotic about it.
Yeah.
And understand here in Australia that are really bubbling up in popularity. They're all in cosplay and they really love Adolf Hitler. And they say shit like because it's illegal in Victoria to say Heil Hitler now. It's not here, but like in Victoria it is. So so they say Heil Australia and Heil Thomas Sewell, and it's all a big game. Like it's just like they're not.
It's
very
low
smart.
quality rage bait that's immature and mostly
they're not
just
the
like
smart. They're not the smart faction of things. They're just thugs, basically.
That's why I said the extreme on both sides are retarded. Daniel makes a good point. The extreme right bears watching, sure, but let's face it, the extreme right is mostly cringe. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the Nick Fuenteses and those guys, very fucking cringe.
And speaking of which, even
the middle is very cringe too. Have you seen Occupy Democrats memes like for the last 10 years?
Yeah.
Like those are just targeting another really dumb cringe audience, you know.
I mean, I've got to say,
not Nazi frogs, but like it's still really dumb.
What do you think about Nick Fuentes coming out and because immediately afterwards it is like anyone who takes up arms after this, I immediately disavow you. This was like he did quite a respectful response to it, but it was very off-brand for him.
Because but the left, the talking left also, a lot of those people like Hassan and Dean and all those guys, when they realized Charlie was shot, they all their first reaction was holy shit, and you could see it, they were fucking terrified about it. And then 24 hours go by and then it's just he's a piece of shit again. But I think it got to Nick because Nick was almost killed himself.
Yes,
somebody came to his door.
Well, also they're trying to frame him for radicalizing the kid, which is not believable even slightly to me. But they're trying that. So I think he's wisely watching his words. He's done pretty well with that. I'm not a fan of Nick Fuentes, but I think I did respect his response to it.
But I think this is also going to draw more people towards Nick Fuentes' cause also.
Sadly.
Yeah. You're going to you're proving Nick right. And if you think this was going to do anything else than do that, you're sadly mistaken. Yeah, the Summer of Love didn't come from the right. It was absolutely the left. And it was actually, if you watch some of the videos, there was actually Congress members and senators in those riots, like Maxine Waters, telling people to keep fighting, fight the good fight while these riots were going on.
Let's consider this. People now want to take up arms and do a civil war. Not everyone, but a lot of people. what are the terms of engagement? To what and like what to what end? What does winning and losing look like? And who is going to fight this in which theater? What you need? No, I don't think any of these questions are even remotely answered. People just want to kill.
Well, I think it's coming to a boiling point. I mean, you killed the soft target. You killed, like, you killed the wrong brother. Like, there was more people that you could have gone after, which, maybe wouldn't have hurt as much, because there's so many people that are hurt by this. So many people. Like,
yes.
And so you went after the wrong one, and you woke up Sarah Connor. I don't know if any of you saw that fucking that speech she made, but yeah, Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife.
Yeah, when you said Sarah Connor, I thought you meant like
they woke up
Oh,
Sarah Connor in her, because she was just like, "We're coming for you."
Yeah,
you think
well, but then everyone's like, she's just as hateful as her husband. I'm like, oh, shut up. Give it a fucking rest. She's at his funeral, you dumb cunt. Well, not funeral. When is the funeral? It's a couple of days, right? Because there's a bunch of Australians going to it.
I don't know, but
you can't get on her for saying anything. If any one of us had a family member die, like, I mean, what are you going to say within 48 hours of that? Like,
I mean, she's allowed to be fucking angry. Come on now.
100%.
All the people who should be calling for civil war, you'd expect her to be one of them. But, like, I mean, I don't think she would, because probably it's like.
I thought her response was great. Like, to be honest, it was very level-headed. She didn't say anything to me that was like super crazy. You could tell she was angry and like, okay, I'm gonna pick up the torch that Charlie left off, and we're gonna double down on what we've been doing, but do it peacefully, like Charlie was doing. And she could have came out and said, let's kill all these motherfuckers. Like, she could have said
that were worried that she was sharing too many photos of. Because, like, at one point she was
there's a video of her.
There's close up of his dead body, of her crying over his dead body, and while in normal circumstances I wouldn't have seen an issue with that, because it's an open casket sort of context, but like just because of the celebratory nature of everyone on the other side right now, they are absolutely using that. Well, I don't think she cares, though. I don't think, and maybe she shouldn't, because they're going to do it anyway.
That was the thing. Like, when she was doing her speech and stuff, and she kept on promoting Turning Point USA, I was like, ugh, like, this is where you wanna. And then I kept having to remind myself, like, no, this is a cause. There's a cause.
He would have wanted, absolutely would have wanted it. Absolutely. And that's something I can, and I don't know him, but I can totally, absolutely believe that. Because he wanted to further
the message. He wanted to further the message.
And they kind of built that together.
Yeah. So I was like, I had to remind myself, like, this is not ordinary.
She's not grifting in that sense.
No.
She is absolutely heartfelt with wanting to continue the legacy of her husband, and that makes total appropriate sense.
And it's going to. And
other people grifting off it is, but that's inevitable.
But I mean, listen, it is what it is. It's not like she's promoting a miracle, like, growth hormone. She's promoting God. It's not. She's promoting Christianity. She's promoting, the fact that her husband was trying to do something great for a nation, not to try to divide. Because, I mean, listen, I beg of you to watch speeches of his and the whole thing, and not just some of the clips that they put out there, because they shorten the clip. Listen to the whole context of it. I mean, the only time I think I've ever saw Charlie get mad was the time him and Shank went at it at, like, one of those Politicons or whatever, and Shank's in the office in the stands watching, and
chunky yogurt.
Yeah, and and he starts yelling at Charlie, and he's like, "How much do you make, Shank? Huh? How much do you make? What are you talking about?"
That's like kayfabe, those, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even real. It's like I think those two in those moments, they have a mutual understanding of performance and it's like if no one was watching, they wouldn't have behaved like that to each other.
When was that video? What year was that? Do you know?
That had to be like
Was that like early Charlie
2009.
Kirk or recently?
No, that was like 2020, 19, 20, something like that.
One thing I will say,
because the Young Turks have been like somewhat red pilled since COVID.
Anna has.
Yeah.
Anna has.
Well, even because he used to be a huge piece of shit, and I think he softened his stance on stuff.
Well, I mean, he did say that Charlie Kirk wanted to be martyred a couple months ago at a restaurant, and then Dave Rubin brought it up on Piers Morgan's show, and he's like, "Come on, man, that's not what I meant." And he's like, "That you want to hear your own words again?" Because he was like, "Oh, he just wants to be a victim," and he's like, "Come on, no."
Well, as bad as you might think he is now, he used to be like 10 times worse.
Oh, I know. I have been. I'm well aware of Shank yogurt, fucking fat fuck, which I call it. But yeah, it's just. But yeah, Anna's come. Like, how do you push Anna away from that side? Like, Anna has now her own show with Jillian Michaels. Yeah, they have. I forget. I think it's called The Talk, and it's like Jillian Michaels, Anna Kasparian, and I forget the other two girls.
I don't hate her anymore. Like, I don't enjoy watching her that much, but I don't like cringe at her as much anymore. She's become slightly more reasonable.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you tell people you've got, you got sexually assaulted by two guys, and everybody goes, "That's not right. You shouldn't shame the homeless." And why would you say that about black guys? And she's like, "I never said who assaulted me. I just said I was assaulted by two men." And they just went up one side and down the other. And then the whole birthing person, she's like, "I'm not a birthing person. I'm a mother." And they're like, "No, you're a birthing person." And then she was just like,
how long do you think it'll be before she's like fucking
Republican? I don't think it'll ever happen.
Like Charlie Kirk.
I don't listen. I don't think anybody will ever be.
No, but she's honestly. Do you know, like, a lot of people churches are filling up now. Do you know? And even before this was happening, you can say it because this is on record on Sean's show the other day. I was saying to Nathan, I'm like, I've been thinking of even just going just for the sake of community and meeting new people. I'm not religious in any way. I disagree with the cultish sort of setup of it, but I kind of feel like going to just like a nice, like, Christian church once in a while.
Bro,
the church because now? Nathan actually from Sean, the Dungeon Dragon kid.
Yeah.
He kind of inspired me to sort of want to do it. And then the Charlie Kirk thing, I think, is that kind of thing for a lot of people as well now, and especially now. So
the church I used to go back in Jersey was great. They were like a modern church, and I remember one time they were talking about Sodom and Gomorrah on one of the Sundays, and the pastor who was sitting up there is like, "Listen, so I know there's kids in the audience. I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible. We're going to talk about Sodom and Gomorrah." And everybody started laughing, and they got bands there that play now, and it's a big thing. It's not like the way church used to be.
I like the musical ones. I really like the musical church because I'm a musical guy.
Yeah.
And some of them is just I really appreciate the talent. I just really appreciate the talent in some of these churches.
You got some real great bands playing while they're stoning those sodomites.
Listen, I don't think.
Sorry.
Handing out cordial and sandwiches. Stoning.
Music's way more.
Do you want the $5 one or the $20 one? Which donation do you want to give?
The beats go so hard, man.
That's some good bass in that song. You don't want to know how we got that bass.
What's up, Rob? I was upstairs when we raided in cunt. How's everyone? We're pretty good, dude. How are you, my friend? I think I got like a lot of the shit off my chest that I wanted to say. It was just sort of, anyway, because like I probably won't make any more Charlie Kirk videos. Like, I know a lot of people are making it. They're converting their channels basically into it. It won't
If
be
it
me, but
bleeds, it leads. That's what they say, right?
Well,
right.
I don't want to hang on to it either, but it's like it feels like every day new shit's coming out. You know what I mean? It's more and more people getting fired. It leads to Charlie Kirk's assassination, leads to the whodunit, leads to the people celebrating online, leads to the people getting fired from their jobs, leads to the people who are fighting each other for nonsense.
To me, those are news stories. So, like, the death and the how did he, all of that, what happened on the day, okay, right? I don't know how even I'm not explaining this well, but like I've compartmentalized that. So for the people that are getting fired and the social credit systems and all that to me is a separate story that has new relevance and is worth continuing to follow. But like in terms of we love Charlie, we miss Charlie, we vigil Charlie, all of this stuff, I think that's appropriate to sort of wrap up now.
Do me a favor, tell me if this is loud. Did you hear anything?
All right.
Yeah, but it wasn't not too loud though.
I put sound effects on Amanda's little thing over here.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, it worked.
What
are you doing that through the interface
to the mixer?
Audio?
Yeah.
What mixer do you have?
It's the Mio. It's a little one. It's just
how much was that? How much was that?
I think it was like $60.
Oh, really? Because I fucking wanted to get there was the Rodecaster one, but it's like 600, 700.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not paying that.
I had a nice one. It was like $200, right? And you could put a phone through it, and it had 4 different channels. It was great, but it kept fucking freezing on me every single time I used it.
Yeah, that's This
no,
technology,
not that one.
Shit, everyththing's so expensive now, man. Fucking everything.
Yeah, but it's also it's either really expensive or not expensive.
What's that? Tin Man JH?
Tin Man JH?
Jumanji?
Tin Man, do you do HVAC? Is that why it's Tin Man?
Oh, Tin Man JH. I get it.
Is that how you lost an eye? I guess
because he doesn't have a heart. It's a Tin Man, right? Yeah.
That was my fraternity. That's my fraternity name, Tin Man, because I didn't have a heart.
I still ain't gonna go to church, so I like my vice too much, and I dislike being a hypocrite. Yeah, no,
that's good.
Look, and if I went to a church, I'd be like, look, I'm literally just here to make friends. You can try and convert me if you want.
It's not a fucking AA meeting; it's church.
Yeah. Well, I mean, should I go to AA meetings instead? I don't think they're the kind of friends I want to make.
Oh, in about 7 months, Daniel will be on here. I'm not gay anymore.
I'm not gay. I quit drinking. Cut my hair.
Maybe there should be ones for social media. Hi, I'm Daniel, and I'm a social media holic.
Well, then you can't do social media anymore.
I'm a Twitter-holic. Fuck that. I respected the hell out of what Charlie Kirk did, though. He was way more patient than I could ever aspire to be. People under 25 piss me off too quickly because I'm an irritable old man. Same. I've been that way since I was 10. I've been an old man since I was 10 years old.
These fucking 9-year-olds.
Listen, I didn't wake up until my late 20s, early 30s. Like when I was just one day I just realized, oh yeah, I'm allowed to own a firearm. And I went and bought it, and I was just like, well, I guess I'm switching teams because I was a Democrat at one point.
Oh, you said you're from Jersey?
Yeah.
So how did that experience, I guess, work for you growing up in a predominantly liberal left-wing Democrat kind of area and then getting red-pilled, assuming you've been red-pilled?
Yeah. How did it feel? It felt like I was being unplugged out of the Matrix. That's how it felt because you start to see how much they really don't care about you and how much they just talk shit and do nothing. And it started to piss me off that, I was watching these debates and they're not answering any questions. And I'm like, this is retarded. Like, what do we, he asked you a simple question and you went off about stoning people. What are we doing here? And so, yeah, it was very interesting. And then when you have certain views, I mean, it didn't get real bad until the pandemic. That's when it started to get real bad because then
the pandemic's an element to all of this I forgot to even bring up. Like that really started cooking the pot.
Yeah.
That's what it all started.
Because we were a frog in a boiling pot, but then when the pandemic lockdown shit happened, they ratcheted up the heat too quickly, and the frog figured out that it was being boiled.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of what was sort of sitting under the surface, I think, of this reaction now as well.
Well, it gave people who had no authority, because now the people who were sick and, you know, were immunocompromised, it gave them a voice to say, well, you can't do this now. You can't do that. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. It's like, no, I can do whatever I want. Like if you're sick, you stay home.
You can't do this. You can't do that.
Yeah,
it's not me.
Exactly. Since when is it I have a flu, so everybody else has to stay home? Like when do we adopt that?
It's like
were you guys anti all of that stuff like initially, or did you after like a couple weeks then kind of be like, well, fuck this?
I took the first 2 weeks and I was like, okay, maybe there's something to this. And after the first 2 weeks, I was like, this is fucking bullshit.
I gotta be honest, like because I'm a bit of a
hypochondriac.
No, because I'm a conspiracy theorist. I immediately was sus, but I'm sus about everything by default. So I now have to talk myself out of it most of the time. Rather, you know what I mean? Like my default is like, no, this is a con. This is a con. It turned out just to be exactly what I thought. It's not like it was the first time that I thought something like that could ever happen. Like it was talked about beforehand in years past. So it wasn't a new idea to me. It was on the horizon of potentials that could happen, and it happened. So when it was happening, I was like, okay, probably bad. And I still got the jab knowing that it was poisonous. Fairly convinced that it was a bad idea. But because I was coerced through state laws, edicts actually, that prevented my travel at a time when I was just essentially forced to. So I knew even beforehand, and I was deeply upset when it was happening. I remember the nurse was very confused. I was really upset. She's like, "What are you doing here then? If you don't want," I just couldn't explain it.
Yeah, you couldn't go do things. You couldn't go into places, and you had people yelling at you when you didn't. I never got into an altercation about anything. I mean, in my adult life, my teens, my early 20s, yeah. But in my adult life, I didn't get into an altercation until I was at a little tiny rinky-dink store, and some guy was just like, "You're gonna fucking kill everybody," and I'm like, "Excuse me, who the fuck are you talking to?" And
well, I mean, I get a bit indignant when people get it that like me. I'm like, actually, cunt, I did take your stupid poison for your fucking sake, and it nearly killed me several times, and I'm still suffering from it to this day, 6 years later. So fuck you. Actually, I did what you fucking wanted me to, against begrudgingly, and I'm paid dearly for it, and you're not even fucking sorry. So fuck you. Don't come near me.
Oh, you got the real shot. You didn't get one of the placebos that probably got.
No, I got the Pfizer ones, which were the more potent. I think the Moderna was the most potent.
I think a lot of those probably weren't even real, to be honest. That's how I feel.
Well, yeah, there's some.
No, that's certain. And a lot of them weren't real.
Well, that was the thing. There was a doctor who just got released from jail or prison a few months ago because he gave 13,000 saline shots. And and they took him to jail. Oh, what's that echo?
Is that me? Am I echoing?
I think so.
Oh, can't. Hold on. Let me try something. I'm gonna change the thing. I might wrap it up soon though, because it's 2:30 here, and it's probably extra late for you guys. But
it's 11:30 p.m. where I'm at.
Oh, you're on the west.
No, I'm in the Midwest.
Yeah, me too. It's 10. It's
11:30
here.
Oh, that explains everything. How to focus right? Is that better? Now speak.
Hello? Yeah.
Okay. Is it better?
Yeah, it's better.
Ah, fuck. I hate wearing these headphones. I never it pisses me off.
Dude, I never understood it until I started podcasting. Like everybody was complaining about the volume in their headphones, and I'm like, what's the big deal? And then now I was just like, yeah, I get it now.
Yeah, no, it's just because they're big and bulky and shit. I need to get those little in-ear ones.
Yeah, mushroom, and that's why a lot of people who are Trump supporters didn't take it, and that's why you had the people on the left going before the election, don't take it, and then the election came, Biden won, and they were like, you better take it or we'll never get back to normal. And we're like, wait a minute, didn't you just say don't do
A
it?
lot of Trump gets a lot of shit for fucking, including from people like me, about when he tries to sprue it that as golden success as well. Like, no, cunt, don't you dare.
I just injected the bleach. I've been fine ever since. I used to be black, and that's all that happened.
Injected the bleach.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So glad I never shoot bird parents not to stay. Yeah, well, lately, the last couple of months, I've had been waking up with searing pain on my side, like fucking. Anyway, I gotta go. I've always got all these fucking problems from it anyway. Now, always on painkillers.
Well, my wife just said that her
sister.
sister got cancer after it. I mean, listen, melanoma, and after what me and Rich did last week or the week before, we read, we were going through it, and it was 37 pages of side effects that they didn't want to tell anybody until 75 years from the day it was, finished.
It's fucking. I mean, I think I went to hospital 5 times with heart problems.
She said it's melanoma that's spreading, and melanoma is not normal. Doesn't normally spread like that. It's spread to every area because of it. And there's people going, "Oh, how do you know that?" Melanoma is not supposed to do that.
Yeah, it's quite a. Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about melanoma, but I didn't think it was like you're actually better off getting the shots that weren't stored properly. Why did that kill off all the toxic shit?
There you go.
Central
Iowa.
time zone for the win. Dad had a quadruple heart bypass surgery 3 years before he took that shot. Now he's all fucked up with heart problem. Yes, well, these were the kind of people that should have been given exemptions, but not. I don't know of a single person that got an exemption. Of all the people that were most entitled to one, I don't think they actually gave any out. They just said that they put a process in place for exemptions, but they never actually granted a single one.
There's a lot of people that are winning lawsuits and stuff now. That got
not
fired
my
and
country.
stuff for
We
not
did a
taking
class action. We took the government to court in a class action. We lost. So, but that's Australia, where we're just it's a joke country. We're a fake country.
Yeah, you guys had a pretty insane lockdown. It seemed like
insane.
I was in Medellin, Colombia when everything happened, and I got stuck there, and we weren't allowed to leave the hotel. Or
I can promise you,
at all for 3 months.
If they did this again tomorrow, Australia would do the same. They would all behave exactly the same. They say they wouldn't. They absolutely would. Sorry, I skipped over red.
I think I would love to see a Venn diagram of the overlap of the people that had that visceral reaction of "you must take the shots" and all of that are now celebrating Charlie's death. Are they the same people? I venture to say it probably is.
Yeah, a lot of them are. I mean, but in terms of the public figures, I know a lot of them are.
That's why when they called Trump supporters sheep, you're like, dude, you took a fucking vaccine that nobody tested and was just like, take it or else we can't get back to normal. And what happened?
This could be why he's deteriorating, Mushroom. He is older though. How old is Trump? He's nearly 80 years
79.
old. Right?
78, I think.
Yeah. So 78 or 79. So he is just old. So they do tend to deteriorate. But I also am not convinced that he did get the shot. I'm not convinced that any of these politician cunts got the shot.
Me neither.
I smoked, and to my knowledge, I never got COVID. My lungs are too hostile of an environment for someone. What's the icon flu?
Listen, I get that.
I was punching cones back then, and I got COVID, and I had that poisonous shit. So
I got it from hitting a friend's vape. Yeah.
So we've all been
Gated.
hit with the bioweapon, and then another bioweapon to stop the bioweapon. Well, I have been. I don't know if you used to
But
pure blood.
what
I didn't get jabbed.
what I
No.
think radicalized a lot of people about during COVID was the fact that there was no sports to bet on. So people were, and then you lock people in their house, and all they do is start looking shit up, and then the news tell you don't listen to what you research. Listen to us. We're here to tell you what to think. That's an actual quote from Mika Brzezinski. We're here to tell you what to think.
I remember that. Fuck, that was a joke show. That Joe and Mika. Fucking, I did.
Yeah, but her dad is a murderous twat, so
Joe is Joe
not off
Scarborough.
brand. Well, her dad's Zbigniew, or however you say that. I mean, not a great guy.
Brzezinski. Oh, Zbigniew Brzezinski.
Yeah.
That's a fucking Polish name if I ever. Zbigniew. Is ZBZ something? Is ZBSK? I fucking can't remember.
Well, supposedly Chuck Scarborough, or what is Joe Scarborough,
They usually just
killed
call
an
him
intern.
Zicky.
That's what I've read.
I did not get the jab because I was in the military, 03 to 07, and back then they wanted everybody to take the anthrax shots. And I remember a bunch of people getting fucked up from those anthrax shots. I was like, no, definitely not taking that shit.
Well,
yeah, I wasn't taking it. I don't get. My logic was I don't get the fucking flu shot because the last time I got the flu shot, I got the fucking flu for 2 weeks. So,
I always get sick from the flu shot too, and it's been proven since that it's at least not at all in any way effective. It never has been. And if anything, it does actually cause sickness. So this has been definitively proven in peer review. So, but people still, you go to the doctor, there's still signs for it.
Yeah, I think it's a 50-50 shot if it's even the strain that's going around for that year, flu A or flu B.
Well, that's even if it, yeah, but let's suggest it is. Even if it was the correct strain, it's still not effective.
And they still put a part of it into you. Like the same thing with snake venom. That's how they make snake venom. Anti-venom is they use the venom to make it. So
I guess, and as a principle, I'm not so that makes sense. But like, it just for whatever reason, when it comes to the flu shot, every single time I had it growing up, because my nan used to make me get it because she used to swear by it. But like, I every single time got incredibly sick, for 2 weeks, and was bedridden every single time, and I had to eventually start refusing it. And when I remember one time when I got they were giving it out at work for free. And I was the only person on my floor that refused it. And every single person on that floor got deathly sick. And I didn't until I caught it off them. Afterwards, when they were all getting better, I got sick then because I caught it off them. But I was the only one out of everyone that didn't get sick all at the exact same time. The only one on a floor of about 150 people.
They didn't give you the herd immunity?
I mean, when I got sick, I got the herd immunity.
Well, there was
I'm joking because they're supposed to get the shot
infected first.
They're supposed to protect you because the herd. Or
whatever, you mean like the 100 monkey effect? Like if the 1,000 million people get then the next one won't need to be infected at all. They'll just be born with superpowers. But I don't think that's actually a thing.
That was another thing that was funny during that. Like they're like, yeah, you have to get it so that way we can survive. And it's like, how does that work? How does me getting a vaccine work for you not getting this? Where does that make sense? Well, you could be
when we're in different
asymptomatic.
Countries, you dumb cunt.
Yeah, you could be asymptomatic, meaning you could carry it and not know it. And I'm like, pretty sure would know.
They'd want us to get flu shots when I was in the military, and they'd have us all stand in formation, and they gave ones that you did up your nose. We'd all just stand there and just squirt it behind our back. And then they'd be like, okay, did everybody do it? All right.
Yeah, it's Listen, if
That's
you,
not the 100th monkey theory. What was the 100th monkey theory? I probably made a conflation there, Tin Man.
isn't
But
it 100? If you put
I
100
conflated
monkeys,
the herd immunity thing with the 100th monkey thing. So that was my mistake.
isn't it if
But,
you get 100 monkeys to type something, maybe one of them will write a book? Is that the 100 monkey theory?
No, that's not. No, the 100th monkey theory is when like a critical mass of a certain species acquires a new skill through experience or whatever, then thereafter, automatically, by some magic, any other iteration of that species will just be born with that as an innate skill, without having to go through the learning process and the experience. And that is like this idea that once a critical mass of your species acquires a new skill, it becomes innate in the entire species. I don't think it's proven. I think it's a theory. Yeah, I think it's. In fact, I think people debunk it.
Why, thank you, Mushroom.
I thought it just reminded me of that when we were talking about the herd immunity thing. And he's like, "Oh, didn't you get herd immunity from everyone else getting sick?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think." Anyway, whatever.
Well, yeah,
It fucked my head
herd
up for a
immunity, the
second.
way it's supposed to work is if like 90 to 95% of like the population's like vaccinated against measles or something, then that 5% that doesn't get it is still supposed to be protected just as much. So, but if it drops down
Right.
below a certain threshold, then herd immunity no longer exists because the R naught, the transmission variable is too high, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, didn't it go from 100% effective to 50% effective?
Yeah.
What is it
yeah.
now? Like 2%?
I don't
No,
think it's zero.
I
It's
actually,
0% 'cause
I got
nobody's getting it.
banned. I got banned from my kids' 4K because I challenged them on the masking and vaccination policy. So
My
that's where I
favorite though
stand on that.
was the one that the people that were swimming in masks. That was my favorite.
Thank you, Mushroom. Yes, we appreciate you too. Well, you're welcome to say anything you want, yeah. Absolutely. It's because it's good. Well, I think also like if we get in the bubbles of like just agreeing with everyone on the phone,
I would doubt that
it
even
gets
the three of
boring.
us agree on everything politically.
No, we don't.
Like,
We don't. That's actually why I like my Discord a lot, because there's a lot of people that are kind of very lefty on my Discord. I'm not saying that you're a lefty guy, but like you might be. I don't know. I actually don't even know, which is a good thing. You suppose it's good. It used to be a mystery back in the day, like through the 90s. It used to be really like rude to ask how you voted.
Well, yeah, that's
what my nan always taught me.
That's the Dave Chappelle skit. You know, he having a conversation. So who'd you vote for? Whoa, Dave, I'm trying to talk to you about fucking my wife in the ass. You asked me who I voted for?
oh,
That's
good
the way
old
it
Dave.
used to be.
Well, before his
It
time.
was a sweet potato on an island, and monkeys started doing it on other islands. They washed sweet potatoes. Okay, yeah, all right. 100 monkey theory is like people being born not liking Israel or not knowing fire, or knowing fire is hot. Yeah, so like an innate thing. Although I don't know if people do actually know if fire is hot. They do usually have to go Bernie first. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. That whole thing.
I thought 100 monkey theory was like if one has AIDS and the rest don't, would you fuck 100 of them? Or is that the Skittles?
That's the 101 monkey theory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. I think that's a different version. The mask swim.
The mass swimmers were great. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's getting it anymore. The CVS basically has stopped. Like, hey, it's time to get your booster. They're just back to it's flu season. Come get your flu shot, please.
I think it still goes around, but I think it's probably just like the flu. I think like I've been getting sick in the summer every year, and I normally would never get sick in the summer.
Listen, I think
COVID summer flu is fucked.
Yeah,
I had it just the other. Well, it's cold here at the moment, so it was. But when it's hot and like humid and you can't breathe properly, oh, that is fucked. It's so bad. You think it's bad in the winter, but it's just fucked when it's hot. It's just so much worse to deal with. Sorry.
Well,
took me
did
right
you
back there.
want to wrap it up, Daniel, or is there anything
Yeah, I
else
do, 'cause I
about
gotta-
Charlie that you wanted to talk about or get off your chest? Or
I think I got it off my chest. I just wanted to. I think maybe there was a couple of people that I might have like inadvertently upset by being a bit antagonistic the other day. I didn't mean it like that. But they're all here in the chat. So I think we're all on the same page again. So it doesn't really matter. And it was not like anyone was super upset about it or anything. It was just like, I think I just wanted to clarify where I'm at with it and why I'm confused and what I'm concerned about. But I got that off my chest. We'll see how it goes. See what happens from here.
yeah, I think the biggest thing is to see what the reaction and fallout is from here on out.
In Sydney, it's 2:40 on the East Coast PM on the 15th, which is a Monday.
And I think just the biggest thing is, you know what Chase Hughes said, just be aware that there is a war for your mind and people are trying to turn everybody against each other, you know, so.
Good point. Watch those.
So,
They're linked below. They're linked in my thing below. Please watch the. Oh, I don't know if they're actually. Are they on the fucking. They're not in the. They're not. They will be. Damn it. They're not on the Rumble one. Fuck, I wish Rumble was easier to work with. Maybe I can just edit this quickly right now. Oh no, it'll fuck something if I do that. I don't want to fuck it. Go and watch the Chase Hughes. Just look at Chase Hughes, Charlie Kirk. It's linked below on my YouTube video. Watch it. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. Appreciate you joining Davey and Dave and fucking the dude, Kush, whatever we want to call you. Yeah, that's it. Where do we find you guys?
You can find me 7 Central 8 Eastern on Off Label Podcast and Business Party Podcast on Wednesdays. Yeah, just follow me on X, Simple Davey. Just on all platforms. Just type in Simple Davey and it comes up.
Simple Davey.
Just a simple man.
What about my dude in the corner?
I am not a streamer or a content creator, so I hope you never find me.
He just pops in from my Discord every now and then.
Yeah,
all right, guys. Thank you very much.
No problem. Later.
Appreciate you. And thank you for all my new viewers. We'll talk to you soon. Peace. Wait, that's the wrong button. End stream.